All right, so we live. What's poppin', everybody? We here chilling. About to talk about One Piece 837. Now this chapter was really hype, but what did you guys think about it? Chapter overall.
Oh, I love this chapter, man.
Bruh.
Wait, go ahead.
That's all I gotta say.
Bruh. Now, let's just get right to it, okay? Cracker. Now, Luffy says that Cracker's Haki, color of armaments, is the strongest he's ever faced. And I heard you and Ty talking about the admirals, but
Yeah.
I don't think they've used Haki against Luffy.
Yeah, Admiral's never used Haki.
Yeah, they haven't. I don't think.
Yo,
they
stop saying that. Stop saying that.
They
But
did.
they didn't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Fuji tourist scene, I can't see the haki.
No, it wasn't.
Like,
It wasn't Hakied up. It's like
He was just using gravity on his blade, I think.
yeah.
It was only when he was pushing back the birdcage that he used Haki on his sword, and that was in the anime.
Yeah, so he wasn't doing that. So I think right now Cracker is still hype. But I remember we talked about last week that if Luffy beats Cracker, then he gets elevated. Do you guys still think that?
no.
Cracker is not one shot.
No
You
way.
feel like he's
Just
beaten him already.
No, but people say just because he has like the oh yeah, I saw Theory talking about this on Twitter.
Oh, bro, I was well, man.
I can't believe what RodersBase said. RodersBase said, yeah, I want him to be one shot.
No. Well,
That's-
no. His opinion is understandable because what he's saying is, like, he would prefer it if the plot were to progress to the point where we get to the wedding and the Vinsmoke action begins. He's a
I
bit
want to
tired
fight
of the
though.
forest stuff.
I want to fight with this guy.
I mean, I think that Cracker. A lot of people are comparing him to Jack, obviously, but I don't know. I think Jack was a bit more impressive. I don't know.
Oh, dude, right. Let's leave Jack. We'll get to Jack at the end. Let's just
Well,
focus on Cracker.
The,
Just focus on
the,
it.
the thing about Jack, though, he has a higher bounty and probably a higher position. Cracker, from what they said, right? After the first Sweet Commander went down, they sent Cracker in. So Cracker's probably third in command, where Jack is probably, like the first or second or whatever.
No
like
way.
But Cracker is
Jack is 3.
No,
Jack
yeah,
is
true.
3.
Like, remember, Jack could pretty much be the right hand man still. We can't 100% confirm it, but possibly can be the way. Cracker is just the third in command or whatever like that. So Jack probably is more impressive.
The way I see it is that Cracker has to at least be able to take on Luffy, otherwise Big Mom wouldn't have sent him. Because she sent him specifically. Like, she knew that she had people in the forest, and she chose to send him.
Role, though. Isn't that Cracker's role? It seems like, all right, if we need somebody to get taken care of, we're gonna send Cracker. He's like the enforcer of Big Mom's crew.
Yeah,
It is, but it's also like she trusts him enough. Like it's stated, she trusts him enough because Luffy defeated Doflamingo sent him.
But my point with that was that, okay, how would Big Mom know how strong Doflamingo is?
He's a very,
Trust me,
very popular
she knows.
pirate.
How would she know that? How do you know that? You don't know how
She's got
strong.
ears everywhere. Like, she knows everything.
All right, put it like this: his reputation speaks for himself, or whatever
Right,
like
his
that. Like,
reputation.
I'm pretty sure like she knows or whatever like that.
She knows of his reputation, but it's like, okay, you know of Doflamingo, you can't just assume that your commander is stronger than him, right? I mean,
I'm
you're
pretty
gonna
sure.
think
I'm pretty
that.
sure.
You see
I'm
how-
pretty
all right,
sure
Brago.
someone, like, what? Am I gonna go?
You
Right.
see how like with the CP9 thing or whatever like that, Luffy knew to take Rob Lucci and like stuff like that. Like, it's like they kind of know. You get what I'm saying? Like that doesn't mean that
Like,
they're right,
If we look,
but they kind of know. Like,
Saying that they can sense
So,
power levels.
if we look at Zoe,
Yeah.
right, and when Sanji got the invitation or whatever, Capone was saying how if you don't go, she will take away, like, behead one of your loved
No,
ones.
I understand she knows everything. She knows what
Right.
everything is going on, but it's like, how does she know how strong you are? That's my point.
another thing with
Doflamingo
Dofi is that
chilling, right? He has been like he hasn't been doing much since then. So how would you know how strong he is?
another thing with Dofi is that Luffy already said that Cracker had the strongest armament hockey. So it's like that's one thing he got over Dofi. He got the armament hockey over Dofi, or
Right.
whatever like that. And we seen Dofi flexing with his armament. So like imagine what Cracker's doing.
Right, but we've come to the conclusion that that's not Dofi's most impressive thing, right?
Oh, but that's what. It was last stream. I'm sure I heard people talking about.
No,
Yeah,
I think
true.
It was a quote unquote master level hacky. I remember someone saying.
right. I mean, and now Cracker has better hockey than him, but as far as I mean, we haven't seen Cracker.
What is that, God tier?
Hmm?
Is that God tier
I
hockey?
mean, that's what Luffy said. It's the strongest he's come across. But what I'm saying is, like, she has no idea how strong Dofi is. She's assuming at this point. We can't say that she just knows Cracker's stronger than Dofi. There's no way for her to know.
That's not true though. I feel like
I think she just
you
sent.
praise Dofi a lot,
Crack-
and you
Huh?
like you praise Dofi a lot, and you and you
Wait,
say that
how is
Dofi could beat a
how
lot
is this
of
praising
people.
Dofi?
Because it's like,
How would
all
she
right,
know?
it's like Luffy's hinting us that he's stronger than Dofi.
No, he says
he
his
plays
arm in
he
hockey is
plays a
strong.
bigger role on a Yonko's crew than Dofi did. But it's like you're saying that how does Big Mom know? It's like now and they said Yonkos know pretty much everything or whatever that. So like now you putting past her, you trying to put her knowledge past her or something like that. Like it's okay. Like Dofi's still good. You know what I mean? Just Cracker's just stronger or whatever like that.
No. I'm not saying Cracker isn't stronger than Doflamingo. I'm not saying that. But we're saying that Big Mom sent Cracker because Doflamingo got defeated.
Right, I understand your point, Brago, that like it's impossible unless she's faced him or sent someone to face him
Exactly.
to know what his abilities are. Right?
Yeah,
She
exactly.
sent Dofi, I believe she sent
expect-
Cracker because she didn't want to underestimate Luffy.
Exactly. That's what I
But
think.
but you would expect, right, that for Doflamingo to be a warlord, right,
Mm-hmm.
and to be at Marineford and take on like Diamond Jozu, that she would hear about these kind of things.
Right, but exactly. I don't think as far as his strength though. I feel like she just doesn't want to underestimate Luffy. It was like a testament to obviously Doflamingo's strength, but also she just didn't want to sleep on Luffy. She didn't want to make that mistake, so she sent Cracker. Not so much as like, Cracker, you're stronger than Dofi, so I'ma send you. That's what
Cracker's
I
not that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cracker's not that bright. Like Cracker would have been like, this is Luffy. He beat Don Flamingo. I can't even beat Don Flamingo.
No, I don't. I don't think that's how they were thinking. I just feel like they didn't want to underestimate. That's my.
Yeah. I
I
get
agree with
I get
Brago.
that.
Okay. Anyways, everyone's asking about
Urouge.
You know,
Oh.
the
Mad Monk.
supernova that has 8 different ways to say his name, but
He needs respect put on his name, man.
how do you say his name though? But
I wish I'd saved. Like I was in a.
you got to put the Mad Monk in front of it.
the Mad Monk. You're right.
I
Mad Monk
I
Urouge.
was
All right.
hyping him up, man.
Okay.
And you
People
got to
are
still
asking
say
for-
the Sky Islands after.
It's crazy. Based off this chapter, people are asking for a top supernova discussion stream, just talking about our rankings.
Ooh, that's ooh.
What do you guys think about Urouge? Like,
Urouge has
Well,
climbed.
He's definitely
He's gone up the ladder for sure.
he's definitely stronger than what most people thought. But I remember like
Yeah,
a few streams ago, we were saying that I think it was Theory that pointed it out that he took
Yeah.
a pacifista out, right?
right?
Well, it was someone
himself,
brought it
right?
up, and I agree with them.
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
remember
is,
who brought it up.
he was winning against the pacifista by himself, and the only reason why he lost was when Kizaru shot the laser through his shoulder. He was winning against the pacifista, and he was the only one, pretty much. I mean,
Yes,
Drake
it was kind of hinted to us that he was strong.
I mean, everybody else was struggling like with other people.
Yeah.
And he was by himself doing it. Drake sent one into a wall, but he was doing it by himself. So that showed that he was like physically at least he was strong.
And somebody said something about his fruit. What does his fruit do? Was it something that like once he absorbs the damage or something like that?
When he gets damaged, he, like takes it and converts it into strength. Essentially, like the name of one of his attacks is something to do with karma.
Yeah,
So the original theory was that he has like the karma fruit, so that like any bad stuff that happens to him, he can equally do back to you or something like that.
He's gonna murder Enel.
I believe
He
that's
has
the
a
case.
lot of potential. If he can like increase his toughness, he could easily like take on people.
My
like
thing though is his age. All right, he's like a lot older than the other guys. So
he might just be.
Is he really? Yeah, I think that's just his look, Brago.
Come on, guys. He's old. He's a lot older.
Because remember, he's a monk. I think that's just the way he looks. I don't think it's that he's old.
Okay. How old do you think he is?
28.
No, 43.
Wow.
You think he's 43?
That's just a guess.
No, he's like 47.
I want to bring this up as well. That like
47. He's 47.
I want to bring this up as well because a lot of people don't think he does. You have to remember that he's from Skypiea, right? He's from the same.
Brago.
He's from the same place as Enel, and he's also the High Priest. So you can assume he has some pretty high-level mantra, which is essentially observation.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's like as far as how much can he grow at where he is? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to predict. I mean, they're saying in One Piece you don't have a prime or whatever. I mean, but there obviously is. So how much can he grow at his age already?
I feel like he can grow just as much as anybody else of the supernovas because another thing too that was kind of made
Well,
clear
I
this
don't
chapter
think
that people
so.
might
I don't
not.
think he can grow as much as the young guys, right?
Well, he might
I
he
feel
might
like he
learn
can
new
because
stuff on the
at
blue
that
suit.
point, like if he's not gonna grow, if he's not gonna be stronger, it's like okay,
No, he's gonna
they're
grow, but
all
not
rivals and
right.
stuff like that. They're all rivals of Luffy, all of them. So they're all gonna be able to grow, and compete with Luffy and stuff like that. One of them is not gonna be inferior to the other one or whatever like that.
Well, that's not necessarily the case.
No, because the thing is that, but before that, that's what we thought. Like, oh, Urouge is weaker, Capone is weaker, and stuff like that. Now with Capone, it's not that he's really weaker. It's just that he felt like, you know what, I'm gonna join her crew, and we already know that from what he told Peckham's, he's planning to probably backstab her and try to get back at her.
Nah,
So
bro.
they just all
Capone is a
no,
bitch.
trust me.
Capone is a bitch.
Because remember, Capone told Peckham something, and Peckham was like, "That's disgusting" or whatever
Bro,
like that.
everybody
And
else
And then
found a way.
Capone shot him or whatever like that. I'm telling you,
Everybody else
Capone is
found a way,
definitely
bro.
gonna try to get back at Big Mom. It makes more sense. Like I don't know
Nah,
how
he's
nobody's
definitely
seen
gonna
that.
try and get back at her. He definitely is.
Yeah,
I mean,
because of what happened. They think that Capone, and you even see what they said, like, oh, he knew his place, so he joined Mama's army. Nah, Capone was like, I'm gonna join now or whatever like that, and I'm gonna get back at them later. I don't know if Capone's gonna do it by himself or with
Oh,
Germa, but
he's a
Capone's definitely gonna try to
He's a dirty
backstab
dog,
her.
man.
I
He's
agree.
gonna betray people.
I agree, but I don't think all okay. There's gonna be supernovas that are stronger than others, right? And Urouge, he's kind of moved up the ladder, and I have him in the top 5 now.
Well, like it is gonna be some that's stronger than others,
Right.
but I feel like what happened with Urouge is just that, like, they're all right. Like, okay, because we probably thought it was like Kid, Luffy, Law, X Drake, and maybe Hopkins or something like that or whatever. But
Who? Hawkins.
yeah, that
Alright.
person or whatever
Yeah.
like that. So we probably thought it was dumb. So now when Oda tells us this, that Urouge did that, it's like, look, y'all can't really rank them like that because everybody's gonna get their shine. They're all part of that worst generation. It's not gonna be the same 3 all the time. Like Urouge is gonna have his moments and stuff like that.
It's funny though.
And then-
based on this, people are saying that Kid automatically gets downgraded to like 6th or 7th.
Yeah, see, look, this is the thing. I don't think, like, I still think right now Kid is stronger than Luffy or whatever. Like, I still think that my mind doesn't change about that or whatever like that. And with Urouge, like, I'll put him up on my list, but it's like what we got to think about too is that, okay, Luffy and them, they trained for 2 years. Everybody else just went into the new world. So now the thing with Kid is that if Kid went to Big Mom like right after, like within that first year, right? While Luffy was training for 2 years, let's say he lost to Big Mom in that first year or whatever like that. And meanwhile, Urouge probably just did that not too long before he was introduced to Kaido. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like then, Urouge got time to grow stronger, so did Luffy, but Kid just went in there like, I'm prepped, like right into the new world or whatever, thinking he was all of that. So it's stuff like that to think about, because if we think about it that way, if Kid went to Big Mom territory within the first year, like early on, and Urouge went towards the later half of the second year, whatever.
I mean, wait.
Then when you match it up, it's like, Kid could still be like that top guy, whatever like that, but he just went too early when he wasn't ready, and Urouge happened to go later to where he was ready. It's still stuff like that to think about. I don't think it's just as simple as like,
I agree that
now Kid is trash and now Urouge is the best and everything. It's more complicated than that.
You can't automatically say that Kid is trash because, I mean, he's taken L's to Kaido, and he lost to who? Did they say who he lost to? No, they just said
he lost to one of the commanders.
Yeah, exactly. He lost to that first commander, whoever that first commander is.
No, you don't know. No, you don't know that. He lost to one of them.
Wait, did it say that he lost?
No.
He did say he lost to
Theory. He lost to the first one because the way that Big Mom does it, the first one is there. Then when he can't do it, she sends Cracker. That's why Cracker came. So
we don't know
like,
that though.
We don't know if he fought this.
You could send anyone
They
random.
said he tried to.
We don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure he fought like that first person came because it's like this is
Tyquan,
why
I
the
don't
second
know.
strongest or the first strongest didn't come because they just sent the like they was even talking junk like you're not gonna ever see Mama or whatever.
No,
Like
that's
that.
not how it
So
works.
I'm pretty sure that just the first
I
guy.
think
What if he
I
was
think
into
this is how
mine?
it
What if he
works.
was
Wait,
into
wait,
mine and then
wait.
he ran into Bobbin, right? And Bobbin was the one that took him out. How
Yeah.
do you know?
Well,
How do you know he
the
didn't
thing
run
about
into
that
one?
See,
people
I
are
think it
even
works like this, yeah.
speculating.
Wait,
Each
People are even
commander controls a
speculating
different
that.
part of the island. Wait. Okay, so
wait, say
each
that again,
commander,
Uosef. Uosef, say that again.
so each commander of Big Mom controls a different part of the island. So if an intruder gets into the forest, then they're gonna send Cracker. If someone gets into the palace, then they send like the top guy. You know, it
Or it
just
could
goes like that.
depend. Yeah. Also, it could depend on if it's multiple. Like, say it's Kid and the other, and it's like they invaded together. Then it's like, okay, maybe we have to send somebody stronger than Cracker. You know what I'm saying? So it's
No,
like,
that's the thing. They don't have to send like that first guy was
no, no,
able to
no,
do
no.
it. Like
If okay, so if Kid invaded with Killer and
Killer's nobody to them at that point. Like at that point in the story,
How do
they're
we
not
know
worried
this?
about
But
getting
Killer has a
Killer.
bounty.
how do you know?
Yeah, he has about. All right, we seen Luffy and Law struggle with Dofi or whatever. So I'm telling you, Brago, they're not
No, no, no,
like
no, 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 no.
it.
No, I'm saying he goes there with Killer and he has a Pooh Hawkins. Those guys, they go there
No,
with.
but that's the thing. Okay, if they do all of that, then maybe. But the thing is that that's at that point he didn't have the what's his name? He didn't even have the alliance or whatever like that. He it was probably just him and Kid and the rest of his crew, not the alliance.
What?
That it was probably just Kid and Killer and the rest of their crew, and not the whole alliance thing or whatever.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
know
And
that
Like
already.
that
even
pretty
if the
much.
thing is, even if Zoro was there, could Cracker beat Luffy and Zoro together? I don't think so.
All right, now no, but if they would have went right after the time skip, I mean, like if they would have went with no time skip, yeah.
What do you mean? This,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah, I agree.
If they
wait,
went,
so this is during
they
the time
trained for
skip,
2 years to hone their skills. If they
right?
would have just no time skip, they just went right after, like after the whole
Oh, okay,
Kizaru
so you're
Kuma
saying
incident.
that Kid and them went before training?
Yeah, exactly.
How do
Like
you know this
they
though?
went early on, so
Wait,
that was able to happen like
wait,
that.
how do you know this though?
How do we? All right, I don't 100% know, but how do we not know this? It's like okay, I don't. It's like Oda gives us puzzle pieces, but why not put the pieces together to be like, okay, Kid
No,
obviously like went
I'm
early
saying we're
on.
saying where he went like early. They went before they were ready. I mean, obviously none of the
Yeah,
superheroes are ready for Big Mom, but I don't think Kid went like okay, right,
I'm
the
telling you, he did
first
that.
day of the time skip. It's just like we're just I don't know. It's just I don't want to assume.
I'm not saying the first day of the time slip, but that he definitely went like that first year or whatever
I
like that.
missed this
How
whole
do
conversation. What's who's saying what?
How do we
okay?
not know?
So
Brago, at the same time, it's like
hold on, Ty. We were saying that okay, Kid maybe Kid ran into Bobbin, and
Right,
Ty was
yeah,
saying no, Kid probably lost to the first commander that Urouge beat,
right, right.
and
which
like
could still be Bobbin though, because we haven't even seen Bobbin.
so
Somebody
you
brought that
think
up, and that's a good
Bobbin is the
point.
one that got beaten?
Yeah, probably.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, it's like that's too. It's like
There's
Bobbin did
no
nothing to show us
way.
that he was like
Come on,
top tier.
man.
It probably was Bobbin. And
No.
if you think about it, Bobbin is like yeah with his teeth. He probably bit Kid arms off or whatever.
What
We
the
don't know or whatever like that. And
No.
Bobbin probably
Ty,
got defeated
Ty,
by
Ty,
Urouge or
Ty.
whatever like that.
Listen, Ty, listen. As possibly the first like commander introduced in the series for Big Mom and out of the entire younger crew other than Shanks or Whitebeard, I suppose. How can you say that like Bobbin is is gonna just get off screen like that?
But
How
so that
could you
means he's
say?
not a commander anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't
He's
like
dead.
we. He doesn't have to be dead or whatever like
Yeah,
that.
but that's what they're suggesting. Like, there's no way Bobbin's dead, dude.
But the
No,
thing
but
is,
I'm saying it could be Bobbin. Like what? Like why not? We don't know what
but the
Oda's
thing
doing with
is,
these characters.
if Big Mom
With
Sweet
these characters.
loses to someone a supernova, do you think she's gonna? What's the point of keeping him if you lose to a
Yeah,
supernova?
true.
Kaido already feels like these
Oh, yo,
guys.
that is such a good point.
He feels like these guys are trash anyway. Like, and then Brule was kind of suggesting the same thing. She's like,
Yo,
worst
because
generation, really?
when we saw Bobbin, it was after Kid had like sunk ships and lost his arm, suggesting that they'd already had some conflict, right? So
Yeah.
why is Bobbin
Okay, true.
why is Bobbin even still there if that's the case?
And it's hard for
Well,
me to
that too. He could kind of still be on the Yonko crew, but just not. All right, you don't get that title no more.
think
Yeah,
that Bobbin is just
she sends him to burn down islands.
wait. What do you guys think about this? One Vision, Recon, Ferro. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
About what?
I honestly don't know.
Bobbin,
think
the commander that lost.
No
it
way.
could be possible because we have no idea what any of the other commanders are like. We don't know if he's top tier or if he's low tier commander. But I think I watched Roger Base's review and he was saying about how the timing does line up as to where the commander lost, and since we last saw Bobbin, this whole incident's happened and we haven't seen him since. So it would make sense if he was the one that lost because we haven't seen him.
No, it's not though. That's not true. Because like I just said, like Kid had already faced off against the Yonko crew, right, and lost. But Bobbin was still there when we got to Fishman Island.
But was it actually said that he faced off against the crew or that he just tried to invade the territory and then
Well,
got
he'd
pushed
already lost
out?
his arm by that point. Who's he lost his arm to?
I don't know.
Oh, but here's the thing that I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that like this is guaranteed the case. I'm just saying though. But I'm saying that like Bobbin probably still works for her. He's just not a sweet commander anymore.
Okay, so right now you're saying that
No.
you're saying that Urouge took out.
Get demoted from commander. You're dead.
I don't think you come back to the crew.
Because at the same time, now let's say somebody faces Bobbin, right?
Right.
It could be like I used to be a sweet commander or whatever like that. He's still like a top tier dude. He just doesn't have the title. You get what I'm saying? So like
back at it again.
It's such a waste of a character. Like, why would you do that? Like, say you're writing a story, Ty. Why would you do that to your character? Why would you?
They did it. They did it to what's his name? What was this guy name with the triangle head or whatever like that?
What?
Which one?
Garp's old the person that he had the grudge against Garp or whatever like that. Yeah, Don Chin Chow, whatever like that. So like he's not in his prime anymore or whatever the case is, but he's still like I used to do this
like 70
or whatever
years
like
old.
that. No, but still like that doesn't mean because it's like all right, let's say like if Sanji was to have to face Bobbin or somebody's facing Bobbin, it's like he's gonna be like I'm not anymore, but I used to be a sweet commander. Just like how Aokiji, he used to be an admiral, he's not an admiral anymore.
Wait,
whatever,
so
like
Ty,
it doesn't take. Yeah.
Do you think Urouge is stronger than Kid?
Do I think Urouge is stronger than Kid? I don't know or whatever like that, and I don't really want to. I don't really want to answer that question too much because like I feel like no because like I feel like it could be like what if Kid did go to Big Mom early, right? Like he went early, right? Like without even training or whatever, he just went to Big Mom early. He got washed or whatever like that, and then Urouge went not too long ago or whatever like that. Like probably like Punk has it. Then Kid could still be stronger. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that's why I don't want to like Kid could be stronger. Urouge could be stronger. We don't really know enough to try to like.
I'm asking, what do you think though?
I say Kid is probably stronger, or Urouge just has that.
Cool.
He's stronger attack wise.
You think Kid is stronger? Right?
Yeah, I think Kid is stronger, or Urouge is just stronger, but only attack wise.
So
because it's like all of these L's Kid is taking, he has a Hax Magneto.
Yo, this is Tyquan is the best observation hockey. He always dies.
Like he's kind of right though, because like Kid, I think Kid rushed in too early and got his ass handed to him, and he needs to like slow down,
cool down,
think about what he's doing.
They say all the Kid dick riders are humbled. I mean, I think people stopped talking about Kid after the whole Kaido thing.
Oh yeah,
that's true. People were like, but it was Kaido after all.
I mean, but now it's like they said he lost to one of the commanders, right? Like why wouldn't they say it's the same commander that Urouge beat? I don't think that
it's like
would lose to that commander and Urouge beat them.
So, because look at it like this, Ty. Look at it like this. Ty, look at it like this. If you're saying Kid went up against Cracker,
Kid went up against Cracker.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying whoever that first. It doesn't have to be Bobbin. Whoever that first commander was, that's what I feel Kid faced.
Because Cracker can't use his swords on Kid, because Kid can just magnet him away.
But here's the thing about that. Cracker's not the Cracker's third in command. Cracker's not fourth. So I like.
You know
whoever
what I
that
mean?
fourth-
Like again, it's matchups. Like I think Kid could have beaten Cracker, but like whoever he did go up against,
Wait, how do you know
obviously has a
Cracker's
different
third?
Frewb.
Huh?
How do you know Cracker's third?
Because they Brago, they say, all right, they're not gonna say every time first division commander, second division commander, third division commander. Like when I was reading it, it said that when Brule was talking, she was like, okay, with Urouge, right? Okay, he beat a commander or whatever like that, right? So he beat this commander or whatever, and then she was like, but all he managed to do was get Mama mad and make her go send Brother Cracker. Like, okay, you beat that's like pretty much saying like, okay, you beat the fourth weakest sweet commander, but you know what? Now we're gonna send the third one in, and he's gonna handle it, and
If
that's
she's
like pretty much what
mad,
happens
why
or
would she
whatever
just
like
send
that.
the first?
It's like they're Yonkos, bro. They're not gonna do that or whatever like that. You see, they make it so that you could never
But
even get to the
Mama,
Yonko.
she doesn't think logically when she's mad. We've seen that.
No, that's different. That's when she wants candy. That's different. Like she's like, okay, you know what? We'll just send Cracker. Cracker could do it or whatever like that. They're not gonna like
based
that would
on
be
her
overdoing it.
Cracker.
That would be put it like this. If they was gonna send the first commander, right? They would be dead, and those supernovas would not be alive anymore.
Why you saying that?
Pretty sure about that. Because the first person would be so beast that they're definitely dying or whatever like that. Like even in this arc, it was already said that Mama doesn't want them to die or whatever like that. It was already said that. Whatever.
In
like
the
that.
ranking, you had Jozu over Marco.
I said Jozu could beat Marco in a one-on-one probably because of his fruit or whatever like that. Marco is
Right.
and the thing with Marco or whatever like that. Marco's first division commander or whatever like that, but they already said that that doesn't mean who's the strongest or whatever that. So that's why
Exactly.
me saying that is actually not far-fetched because that was already said. But now I'm not talking about in terms
That's
of
what I'm saying.
like,
How do you know Cracker's in the first?
all right, here's the thing. I'm not saying it as I'm not saying it like first division sweet commander, second. I'm just saying like power-wise, like who is the strongest? Like I feel like the weakest one is the one that's no longer one anymore, and Cracker's the third strongest one now. I'm saying strong is stronger, not rankings.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was third, because like, wouldn't it be a bit disappointing? I know bounties aren't everything, but if we met the next two, right, and they're at like 600 and like 600, it'd be like, what?
I mean, that's like Jack. Do you think Jack is third?
I think he's number one.
No, I feel like Jack is is number one, and if not number one,
Everyone's gonna be like, oh, but Jack the Beastly L, it's like.
So you think Jack is number one because he has a billion bounty?
No,
because
they
of
said.
the bounty.
Why do we think he's number one?
Because we haven't seen the other calamities to compare, and B, people sleep on his feet so bad.
Right.
True.
So why do we think that Jack is number one but not Cracker?
Because Brago, we know. Because look, they sent Cracker. It's like, okay, after the first sweet commander lost to Urouge, Brule even said all they managed to do was make them go send Brother Cracker. Like, it's like okay, you beat one sweet commander. Now we're gonna send the second. We're gonna send like one stronger than that one. It's like that's all you managed to do. It's like it's not like, oh well, Urouge, he pissed Big Mom off. She sent the strongest sweet commander there. It's like that's not what happened, Brago. She just sent the next strongest.
How do you know that?
No. I'm gonna say it's more like this.
We have enough information to
Big Mom's crew is probably a lot weaker than Kaido's crew, simply because of the fact that Big Mom is not a stronger Yonko than Kaido.
What is that? Whoa,
that's not true. What are you talking about?
You can't say that.
I think I've seen you saying that in the comments, but it's nothing showing. Even this shows how beast Big Mom is because. All right, don't misunderstand what happened when they're saying that you're not gonna reach Mama or that people can't reach Mama. It's not that she's weak and they're protecting her. It's that she's so beast, she's so powerful that she doesn't even waste her time because her commanders got it or whatever like that. Now check this out. With Whitebeard at Marineford, when Mihawk tried to slash Whitebeard, Jozu just said nope, not happening. Kizaru did his shot. Marco just came in and blocked it, like not happening.
He said,
Yonkos don't really want to get involved.
Hold on, Ty. He said, why risk going through all commanders? The smartest thing to do would be sending the strongest after the weakest loss to make sure there's no more losses.
That's not the smartest thing to do, though. It's
Why
like,
is
that's
that not the smartest thing to do?
All right,
because
it's not that you keep testing it. It's like, all right, y'all laugh when I do this or whatever like that, but if we playing Pokemon and my weakest Pokemon loses, I'm not gonna send my strongest one after that. Because now what if he gets lose? You know, I'm just gonna send
I really don't think
the next one. You know that.
Brago.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't understand why you would introduce both strongest commanders of two Yonko crews first. Do you know what I mean? Like introduce their bounties and what rank they are.
Did we see Virgo before Diamante and those guys?
Yeah.
All right.
That's a very different example.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
Because like you have to look at like for instance Bobbin.
No, but the thing is,
they were introduced far before.
Right, with Virgo, right? We were like, oh, if Virgo is this powerful, let's wait for Diamante and Pika and those guys. That's how we were thinking, and then we were let down. So I'm just saying. So
I suppose if you look at it in terms of story writing, introducing him now gives you more time to actually write his character out, and the others will just be like, oh, here's this dude, now we gotta defeat him.
Because the more I see, the more we find out about Jack and what he did, it's like, how can he not be the strongest Calamity? And it's like, if he's that OP, then does that mean Whitebeard was just so far away stronger than Marco? I
think you've got that misinterpreted as well. I think the Yonko are far beyond their first in commands.
Far beyond?
Yeah.
No one can even compare to the Yonkos. They have to just find random people that are kind of close to them to be their commanders.
I don't know if I agree with that. Honestly.
I don't know.
At the same time, I don't
take Whitebeard's place. Not at all. Not even close. Because if he could, he would have defeated Blackbeard and Co.
Yeah, like I feel like they're strong enough to be admirals, but they're not strong enough to like be like right there with the.
Okay,
Yonko.
Another question. Someone just posed this. So if he just defeated someone like Doflamingo who had ties to everybody in the New World, or everybody in the world, it seems like, why would you send the weakest commander?
Because you
have a whole island. You have a whole island of people. It's like you gain. All right, Bragos. All right, I'm crazy good at strategy or whatever like that. So like strategy games, I'm winning the majority of the time or whatever like that. I'm just saying though, like you put you're in a war or whatever the case is. Somebody takes your weakest person out or whatever like that, or even one of your people, and you send your strongest.
Why would you make the same mistake again? Why would you send?
It's not a mistake, Brago. You know, if once your strongest person.
Hear this real quick. Urouge, right? Part of the worst generation. Defeated your weakest commander, right? Luffy, another part of the worst generation. You're gonna send the weakest commander again? How is that good strategy?
Yo, but listen. Look at it like this. There are a lot of other factors you have to consider. What if the strongest guy isn't present at the moment, and Cracker was just the next in line?
Well, they sent Cracker last time.
Yeah, but
that's because Cracker.
Listen again.
Cracker's third.
They've been preparing this wedding ceremony, right, for this arc, right? You would expect Big Mom to send like a bodyguard for the Vinsmoke convoy, and that would be the most important commander, surely.
Close. Nah, I'm sorry. Somebody said a comment. Ty, I'm really good at strategy. 2016. Nah, all right.
No, but I'm just saying, though, Brago, like, if a situation like that happens, right, and you send your strongest person next, if that person loses, you're done after that. That's like, now you got to step in, and you're supposed to be the king, and you're not supposed to really do that or whatever like that. So I'm pretty sure she didn't send her strongest person after that. She just sent Cracker. What you got to think is that, let's just say, like, if Sanji was to lose, right, sending Zoro in next is a good move. It's not like Luffy just has to come in now, whatever like that. Zoro could probably take care of it.
Strongest commander then.
Wait, Ty. How much?
No. I'm saying if Luffy's stronger than Zoro though, and let's say if it was another person stronger than
but that's
stronger than
That's
Luffy.
Big Mom herself going. We're talking about.
All right, so then change it to like, let's say like if somebody beat Frankie and then Sanji comes in or whatever like that.
Let's say Jinbei's on the crew, right?
Yeah.
Right. So let's assume Jinbei is the weakest. You're sending Jinbei, or in this case, they had 4 commanders. Usopp is one of them.
Yeah.
You send in Usopp. Usopp loses.
Yo, sorry, I disconnected.
No, we were talking about say Luffy had 4 commanders, right?
Yeah. I know what you're arguing. I know what you're arguing is. It's a good argument, but like you can flip it. Like you could say, you know, let's say she did send Cracker and he was the third strongest in this example. and he managed to defeat every supernova that came their way. Why wouldn't you trust him with Luffy?
You said why
True.
wouldn't you trust him with Luffy?
Yeah, as in like why? Yeah, why would you go? Oh, I'll actually send my first guy.
So then
Why
that
wouldn't
means
the third be enough?
that means when she said she's not underestimating Luffy, she really is.
Technically,
Nah, you can't think of it like that because at the same time, it's like even
No,
if
but you
Cracker
said
loses, right?
because he beat Doflamingo, she sent Cracker, right?
Yeah.
That's what she said. But
Yeah.
then if you don't send the strongest guy, you're still underestimating him, right?
I was just flipping.
No, because these people, these people are is like their most trusted people or whatever like that. It's not underestimating him or whatever like that. You see, like, all right, Luffy with the whole Sanji thing. When Sanji was like, I want to attack Big Mom's ship, Luffy was like, go ahead. You know what I mean? Like, I trust you. It's cool or whatever. Attack her ship. It's not that I know Zoro's stronger or whatever. So let me not Sanji come back. Let Zoro do it. It's like, you know, they trust these people or whatever like that. And the thing with Cracker is that he did very good. Luffy could not touch him at first. I'm like, oh snap.
Yeah, Luffy's
like,
base was very disappointing this chapter. It was like
I don't think it was disappointing. I think Cracker was
Really?
just that much of a beast.
no,
Yeah,
it's,
it's
how is
like
that
you
not
can't look at it that
disappointing
way.
if your base can't do anything and you have to basically go full power mode to get a hit in?
I think
It's not that it's not impressive. It's that this guy is so beast. Because here's the thing, like it's like you acknowledge Dofi power, but it's like by saying that you're not acknowledging Cracker's power because you're like, oh, Luffy can't even, no, it was the same thing with Dofi. He couldn't really mess with Dofi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with
I
Cracker.
don't
He
get
couldn't
that.
mess with Cracker. He had the power up.
Like you have to remember, Brago. Like you obviously don't think that the third strongest commander of the Yonko crew can deal with Dofi. You think it has to be the strongest guy.
The third strongest of a commander's crew can deal with Dofi? No. What do you mean? I don't think that. What do you mean?
As in, like ever since like we've been introduced to Cracker, you've been saying like, why isn't he the right hand man?
Because personally, I don't know if Luffy could beat Doflamingo 1-on-1.
Yeah, he couldn't. So what's to stop him from why would he be able to defeat the third in command? Why wouldn't he be able to defeat the third in command? Or why would he?
But I didn't say
which way to ask that.
I'm confused.
As in like you're saying that Cracker has to be or should be the third strongest.
No.
Wait. He should be the third strongest because Big Mom sent him. Because Luffy defeated Doflamingo, right?
Not necessarily, but go on.
But what's to say that being the third strongest means it doesn't mean you can't deal with Dofi? As in, like, let's put Jozu or Yasop in that position. You're saying they can't deal with Doflamingo? I don't know if Yasop's the third in command, but we're just using it for this example.
Can Jozu or Yasop deal with Doflamingo?
Yeah.
You know, Jozu's a tough one to use in this situation.
Why?
Against Dofi. Huh?
Why?
You say why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because what happened?
But that was a 2 seconds or something like that.
Because he got basically stopped by Doflamingo.
You said Jozu. I thought you said
Dofi,
Yasop.
what's his name to him though? He just did that out of nowhere. Remember, he was focused on Crocodile. Dofi just interfered or whatever like that. That's why. That's different.
Bro.
It's not like he did that with Jozu had his guard up.
But he might lose. Everyone is saying in the chat that I don't think Jozu's messing with Doflamingo.
People. That one thing has ruined Jozu's career, man. It's ruined it.
It was off guard. How can I hold that against him?
You sleep on Jozu so bad.
I do think Jozu's a beast, though. I do think Jozu's a beast. It's tough. It's tough. But my point is, right, that it's like Big Mom, by whoever she's sending, she has no idea how strong these people are. She's assuming, okay, this guy should be able to take care of it. Whether he's the strongest commander, as you guys are saying, or the weakest commander, as you guys are saying, or the strongest. So, I mean, we should probably just move on because we're just going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, I was going to say this, like, where we see, obviously, in this chapter that Nami used Thunder Tempo on Brule.
Yes.
But they say that she can respawn at any other mirror. But earlier in the chapter, Brule was saying when she captures Nami and puts her inside the mirror, she's going to cut her up inside the mirror, right? So doesn't that mean that the realm that Chopper, Carrot, and that lot are in at the moment, like Brule can also go inside there, and she's more powerful in that zone?
She can probably control it.
Yeah, that reminds me of a JoJo Bizarre Adventure character that could go. This kid.
Oh.
That could
OPS?
control. Yeah, the kid. It's like a baby that could control anything in its world. It was a lot stronger than outside its world.
Oh, is it like the Dream World
The
thing?
dream world.
Yeah.
Right? They had a dream world where it's like when you were
similar to that.
everything. Basically, you couldn't do anything because that was their world. But I don't know if Nami could turn the tide with her mirage and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think,
Yeah.
like, let's say Pound and Nami get captured next chapter because they get outsmarted by Brule.
Yeah.
I think that Carrot, Chopper, Nami, Pound, inside the mirror world can defeat. Like, well, obviously they will have to, but how would they defeat her?
Yeah, I think they definitely need Nami to do that. I think Nami's the one that has to do that. I think Carrot is just straight up a physical fighter. I don't know if she's much more than that. So I think you definitely need someone like Nami. Chopper, pretty much the same way. So you need someone like Nami who has more up her sleeve to probably defeat Brule. But they're talking about Luffy 0 to Gear 4, and how quick he did it. And they're saying talk about that really quickly. What do you guys think?
Well, with that, I just feel like that this happens a lot or whatever like that. When somebody does something for the first time, it's always like highlighted and they make it special when they got it.
But it wasn't the first time, though, because he did it with Rosa.
No, I mean like when he did it first on Just Rosa. I mean, like he transformed into it, he charged up, whatever the case was, because that was the first time. But now he's just gonna be doing it because we don't need to see all of that anymore. We already know how he does it. I think it's just that or whatever like that, and plus that he got a little bit stronger since then and now.
Wait,
yeah,
so
I don't
guys,
think they're gonna spend an extra panel drawing Luffy transforming again.
Wait, so we all know that what's her name? Brule is based off of that one character from Snow White, the evil witch or whatever, with the mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
So if Nami is Snow White,
not the Wicked Witch, sorry.
No, whatever her. What is that name?
I don't know. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, something like that. But so Nami would be Snow White.
Okay.
And then, so is this kind of like the matchup that we're gonna get for a fight? Maybe Chopper and what's the name? The rabbit. Fuck.
Carrot.
Yeah, Carrot will be kind of useless in the mirror world. Like maybe they've already been tied up, and Nami has to like 1v1 Brule on her own when she goes into this mirror world.
But I've been seeing there's a lot of people they're not really feeling Brule. They don't really like Brule. Every time Brule is mentioned, they're like, can we move on to something else? Do you guys feel that way?
No, she's interesting, man.
No, the opposite for me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, what happened?
Wait, was it Recon?
Oh yeah, no, no, my bad. Yeah, no, because I had to exit because I could only hear like half of you.
Oh.
Like the things when I came back, now I can actually hear all of you. But no, when it comes to this whole situation, just for me, like as much as I love Nami, like for example, just seeing the Thunderbolt Temple this chapter, if it does get to the point to where all of them get stuck in the mirror world, I would definitely love to see that, because I think that so far what he's done with that ability has been very, very intriguing for me. So if it's already intriguing enough. So after that, whenever like everything gets taken to the next level, I think it would be far more interesting. So I would definitely say keep Brule around for a little longer. Yeah, I like her. I think she's a great
Nami one-on-one fights normally give us a lot of tactics, which is something.
Yeah.
Tactical fights we've been missing.
And she hasn't had one in a long time.
Yeah.
Same
with Robin.
Like what?
Robin
CP9
needs a command to fight this arc, guaranteed.
CP9, that was crazy. Yeah. So Nami definitely needs a fight, and I don't know. People are talking about Pound this chapter too. What do you guys think about him?
Apple juice, man. Get him that apple juice.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere on Reddit that the directions that he was pointing towards the apple juice is actually the way to exit the forest.
Yo.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I can't remember who said that, but I think on the panels where it was showing the little house, that I think it was when they were mentioning about Brulee's mirrors or something like that. It showed a house in the distance, or was it when Cracker punched Luffy somewhere? It showed like a little house, and then it cut to a couple of panels afterwards, and there was like something in the distance, and I think that was where the apple juice and stuff was, and it was like the exit out of the
Oh
forest.
wow.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
some Hansel and Gretel kind of
Exactly,
nonsense.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say that. House
That
in the
is-
Woods.
That's perfect. I believe
So
that's
who's
what it
Hansel
is.
and Gretel?
I believe that's what it is. So once they finally listen to him,
Yeah.
then they get out of there.
Exactly.
If we were saying Pound
If
could
they
be,
had listened to him sooner, they would be out right now.
that's true.
Can I bring this up as well? I don't agree with it, but a lot of people have been saying in other streams that Pedro could be the fourth commander that lost to
Oh.
Urouge.
No, that doesn't make
I
sense.
think he was just like a.
Pedro has probably been on Zoe for a long time. That's why they trust him. He wouldn't just like
Exactly.
up and leave and then come
Yeah.
back instantly and be like, yeah, we're all cool.
Exactly.
Nah. I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss that because he got a point. Because when it came to what's his name, Tamago, when they was like, is he like an acquaintance of yours or whatever like that? He was like yeah, you could say that like as if maybe he could have been the fourth Sweet Commander or whatever like that.
Is it like there are clues to like make it a valid theory, but I just don't see it. Like in terms of time, it doesn't make any sense.
I think Pedro though, like I still think he's a spy for Kaido, but he could be the
I'm on that boat.
Nah, but put it like this. Here's why I say that.
man.
I got nothing against Pedro, but he seems too willing to want to fight Big Mom people. It's like, if he's a spy for Big Mom, then he wouldn't be so quick. He was ready to pop on the guards. He's ready to fight Puddin. He was just like ODing like he really like if he's on a Yonko, like if he's on a rival crew.
The thing is, though,
He really wants to go
Carrot has
after
the same personality. Like Carrot is
No, with Carrot is different. With Pedro, he really it's like well, it kind of makes sense still because he said that he went there a long time ago, him and his brother, and then they lost. So I guess he just wants to make it even or like get back at him. But that's the case that that happened, or it could be that maybe he was that Sweet Commander. He wants to get back at them or whatever like that, or that he's on Kaido's crew.
This stream team has had it out for Pedro since day one.
Because we don't. The other thing too is that somebody had to give Jack that information or whatever.
Wait,
like that.
guys,
And-
explain the Pedro being a spy for Kaido thing for me. Like,
all right, since other people might agree, but I've been thinking that, and I was never buzzing from that. I felt like somebody gave Jack information or whatever like that. Jack trusted that information so much that even though they risked their life not giving up where Rizzo was at, Jack still kept nah, he's here, tell me where or whatever like that.
Wait, didn't Joy Boy make a theory on what was it, the monkey guy?
There's three. There's a couple of traitors. It's not just one. Because the monkey, Barati or Barriette or whatever,
Yeah.
he acts suspicious towards the end of Zo and at the start of Zo. And Pedro acts very suspicious.
Yeah,
and
he does,
also
actually.
Carrot, as she's leaving, acts super suspicious. So I think the three of them are very suspicious.
So
Panda made a theory about that too, that Pedro's name or something.
Yeah, I remember that.
Card game with Ginrami and Jack and something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing with Pedro that makes it tricky though is that so it's that whole situation with Zoe, but then it's he's too willing to me I don't know if y'all can't see it, but he's too willing to want to fight and go to war with Big Mom if he's on a rival crew. The other thing that I'm thinking though is that I can't see him being a spy and the people on Zoe knowing that, because at the same time, who was it? Nekomamushi that was Peckham's is the only one that can control what's his name? So
Pedro is the only one that can control Peckham's.
Yeah, that Pedro is the only one that could control Peckham. So I don't think he would say that knowing I think he knows what's up with Pedro. So I don't think he knows Pedro's a spy and he's still sending him over there. So, at the same time though, now that I think about it, for him to say that he's the only one that can control Peckham's, what if that means that Pedro was one of the Sweet Commanders, so that's why he can control Peckham, because he used to be higher ranked than him or whatever like that. So that makes sense, that adds to that other theory that maybe it could be Pedro.
It's very likely. The more clues you look at, it does seem more valid. But I just don't see, in terms of the time, it doesn't make sense. Why would you go away for a year or half a year, get wrecked by Urouge, and then come back?
Yeah.
No chance.
Well, the thing though, why not? We seen Kid. He got destroyed by Big Mom. He wanted to go after Shanks still. He got destroyed by Kaido. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go after other Yonko. He's not gonna just stop. So it's that too, that that probably happened, but he probably has a will to keep to want to make up for it or something like that.
Another thing is when Jack did arrive on Zoe, because we already know that there's no way he can track down Zoe without a Viva card or something. When Jack did arrive, they thought that the welcome bell was ringing, and they said that it actually turned out to be the warning bell, but I don't think it ever was. I think it was the welcome bell the whole time, and that's why they were unaware that Jack was coming. The person in charge of the bell is the little monkey, so if he's in on it, he would have done the wrong bell on purpose.
True.
What about the theory that Cracker is actually Fisher Tiger?
Yo, a quick question because I didn't even hear about that yet about the Pedro thing. Okay, would you care to elaborate on that? That's actually pretty interesting. I never thought about that. About him being the fourth commander.
Wait,
Oh yeah. There's just like,
I didn't hear about that.
I've only just heard it today as well. As I've been going through the streams, hyping over Cracker and all that. But people have been saying that like because like the way Pedro has been acting suspicious since Zoe, and the way that he treats Peckhams or says, you know, like Ty brought up, that he says he can control him or whatever. When also we land on Whole Cake Island, there's that wolf mink on Whole Cake Island, and he's like, "Yo, Pedro," and Pedro's like, "Shut up, man! You know, don't give the cover away."
Yeah.
and I think then he called him Commander too or something like that, right?
Do you guys think like Pedro is gonna get the poneglyph and just dip?
I do think that's his ulterior motive. I think his ulterior motive is to get like a sample of the poneglyph and bring it back to Zoro, but he failed.
It depends. It depends what he's doing. If he's a spy for Kaido, yes. If he used to be a sweet commander, no. He just wants to get back at Big Mom. If that's the case, you know, it depends what his role is.
Because like he's weird though. Because if that's the case, like he was ex-commander or whatever, that means his loyalties do lie in some way to Big Mom. So why would he attempt to assassinate Pudding when they first meet her?
But then if he got exiled or something like that, then
yeah, you got to think if he's no longer a commander, he's not friends. He's not like on that crew anymore. Like Peckhams is still on that crew, whatever. Like that. But he has.
What was in it for him? There's like the big grand scheme of things. What was in it?
What you mean in the past or now?
Yeah, as in like in the past. Let's say he was a commander. Why was he one?
Well, his brother was one, so you know, like, and they set out together, so that's probably why.
His brother wasn't. Like Peckhams is not a commander.
Wait. No.
Well,
not that his brother was a commander. I mean that his brother was a part of that crew. That's what I mean.
Oh right, all right.
What were you saying, Phil?
Wasn't it stated that Tamago was like his partner or something? Like the egg guy.
It was kind of implied.
He kind of like hinted it off, but it's implied very heavily. Yeah.
Yeah, that they were cool. Yeah, that's his guy.
Another thing too that I'm thinking about with Pedro is that when we was first introduced to him, right? So he probably was a sweet commander or whatever like that, because when we first introduced to him, they said a whole bunch of stuff, and they was calling him like, I forget the word, but it was like, you know, he's ruthless, he's reckless or whatever, and it said that he's against everything sweet, like he just doesn't mess with Big Mom at all right now, whatever like that. So
I think
he probably was a sweet commander, and now he's just probably like anti-Big Mom.
I think Pedro
anti-sweet.
has had pause in all places. Like I think he's got affiliations with Kaido and Big Mom in the past, but now possibly Kaido. But yeah, he's a very suspicious character ever since, you know, when we first ever saw his silhouette when Luffy arrived.
Yeah,
and
so
he was suspicious since then. He's been suspicious since day one. I mean, Carrot as well. Carrot is very suspicious too, but I'll leave that for another stream.
And it's that thing that said that it's like I never thought about that before, but like, what's the point of him being against everything sweet? And then we know that Big Mom, her whole place is made out of candy, and it's like stuff that's sweet. So it's like, you know, he's directly against Big Mom. And as we've seen in this arc, he's willing to fight her every chance he get. Or fight her.
I'll bring up another point about Carrot just to like get it flowing. When they were leaving, I don't know how accurate my memory is, but when they were leaving, she said to Wanda, or it might have been the monkey. One of them said, like, "Oh yeah, sorry, Wanda. We would never like betray Zoe or anything like that. Like a typical kind of like white lie that would, in terms of Oda's writing, would actually turn out to be a really big lie. Do you know what I mean? Like she was basically admitting that she was a traitor, but she was, you know, do you know what I mean? I'll find it because I need to get it 100%.
True. Well, the thing with that is that he could have been a sweet commander. He could not be anymore, but he could be with Kaido. Maybe he's with Kaido and he was a sweet commander all at the same time. Like he's doing both, like you said.
I'll get it. I'll quote it for you word for
People
word.
say you're confusing Sicilian and Pedro.
Who's Sicilian?
Sicilian is the what do you call him?
Is it Lion?
The lion guy.
The henchmen of Inurashi, like I forget what their
The
name is.
Musketeer.
Yeah, those guys.
No, dude. Sicilian's cool, dude. He's 100% legit.
No, I don't know. They said it's talking about Sweet Hater or something.
Oh yeah,
So-
Sicilian is the one that hates sweets.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Pedro.
They say Theory's onto something. Wait,
I've
they
been
say
on
why
to-
no
I've been-
trust theory? Everyone is
Honest,
suspicious.
man, I've been scoping these guys. I've been sniffing them the whole art.
Didn't Pedro sneak up behind Luffy? Didn't notice? Was he behind Luffy the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
time?
He's crazy fast.
Yeah, isn't he like a cheetah or something?
Yeah.
A leopard?
He's
Jaguar?
using Electro
Oh,
to
it's the
speed
Jaguar?
himself up.
Yeah.
He's using Electro to like speed himself.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, since every monk has that power.
People are talking about the ratings or the rankings for the supernovas again, and a lot of people putting Urouge over Kid right now.
Where do you guys
What?
place? Because no one ever
Okay.
talks about him. Where do you guys place Killer?
Killer's right beneath Zoro. Wherever-
Zoro, yeah, that's what I put him.
So it's like
So where do you place Zoro?
Sixth.
Okay.
Ooh, that's.
All right. Theory. We got Zoro.
Oh, to be honest, I kind of sleep on Zoro big time. I talk about people sleeping on other people. I sleep on Zoro.
They said they got Killer at 9. Jeez.
Yeah.
Like, what I
It's
want to say
hard.
is that like
Wait,
that,
Ty, give me a top 5 supernova real quick.
top 5 supernova. Let's see, Kid.
Oh, Kid over
Let's
Luffy.
see, Kid definitely.
Okay, cool.
I'm not following trends. Like
True.
Kid, Luffy, let's see, Urouge, then Law, and X Drake.
Okay. Theory. Give me a top 5.
Currently, I would assume Luffy's number one because he's had 2 years training with Rayleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And then beneath that, I would say, from what we just got this chapter, Urouge.
Whoa.
Just only because he's wait, listen.
Okay.
Only because he's managed to take out a commander and remained undamaged. He's got no limbs missing, nothing like that.
He's
Right.
pretty beat up on Sky Island, but
Yeah,
Oh,
but he's
that
patching up.
makes
He's
sense.
not missing
'Cause
no
Kid
limbs.
lost the arm or whatever.
And then I would put Law because he stayed behind in the Grand Line to do his business as well. And we've seen his feats a lot. He's quite powerful. And then Zoro maybe because I don't see Zoro beating Law. And then the rest you could kind of gather. I've got Kid pretty low from recent events.
Okay.
Kid's very low on my list.
Uosef, what's your top 5?
I feel like it's going to be really similar to Theories, but yeah, Luffy number 1. Yeah, Urouge number 2.
Nice.
Law, Zoro. I don't know if I can put them on equal terms. But let's just go with Law above Zoro, like slightly, just because I think he's like captain. And then Kid.
Wow. One Vision. What's your top 5?
Don't say wow to us. It's our opinion.
Yeah,
I'd
now.
probably say Kid, Luffy. I'd have to put Law as third, and then I'd say Urouge, and then Zoro.
Okay. Recon.
Give me a second. I'm still making. I've never ranked them before. I've never ranked them before, so give me a second.
Well, know what I did? Just try to do like the top 5 intimidating ones that come to mind or whatever like that, starting from the first.
So like in no order, the first 5 that come to mind.
No, in order, but like who you think is the most powerful is, and then just try to go up from there or whatever like that. Like so that's kind of like how I did mine. Like I felt like it's Kid, then I felt like it was Luffy, then I felt like I did it that way or whatever like that.
You did it off of presence?
No, not presidents. Like who's like okay, Luffy's kicking butt. We seen that. Look what happened with Cracker. Kid is. Well, I had Kid before Luffy, but Kid is like even though Kid is taking these L's, but I feel like he's taking these beastly L's or whatever like that against these people, and like I think that like it's not the type of L's that's to his discredit or whatever like that. Because I feel like at the same time with people put Urouge higher up on their list, even I did, but I didn't put him way high. I just kept him at 4th or whatever like that. But now like if Kid went to Big Mom early on, and Urouge went later on, then really, of course at that point, all right, like I feel like if there was no time skip, nobody would have beat that Sweet Commander. But obviously, like Urouge probably went later on to where he was strong enough to beat one. So and Kid went early when he wasn't. So if that's the case, then he's really not as much stronger than Kid as we think or whatever like that. I feel like it's that to take into account too, with that whole thing.
Recon, you got your 5 yet?
Hold on, I'm trying to think of the 3 to 5. I already know what my top 2 are, but
All right, so hold on. Look, put it like this. You got to fight a Yonko, right? who's the and you could call 5 supernovas. Who are you calling or whatever like that from 1 to 5?
That's a good perspective.
Just try to save your life.
Okay.
Hurry up. You don't got a lot of time to think about it.
Okay, fine.
Who's the first person that you need this person here?
All right, fine. Right off the top of my head, I'd probably say Luffy, Kid. I'll go with. Fuck it, I'm going with Hawkins. Luffy, Kid, Hawkins.
Yeah, you'll need him.
Urouge.
He can tell the future.
Urouge, and then my last one is hard because the whole Law and Zoro thing. Like, I haven't seen Zoro go all out, but I saw Law get wrecked. So I'm kind of like.
Law powers is hacked though. They would definitely help you out more than Zoro would.
Yeah, and in a fight against a Yonko, you're right. Yeah, Law would definitely work out, but I don't know. It's tough for the last one, but I would definitely have Hawkins. Hawkins is in my top 5.
Nah, he's cool because he has the whole like.
I think I sleep on Hawkins.
He has the whole like, you're not gonna die today. You're gonna die today thing.
But once you say you're gonna die today, isn't all the morale just gone? Like, you're gonna die today.
Wait, no, that's not true because it was something that he said. It wasn't it what's his name? Because check this out. At the same time, didn't he tell what's his name? He told Urouge because I think Urouge didn't want to fight Kizaru or whatever like that, and then he's like, actually, you're not gonna die today, or you're not gonna lose, or something like that. And then that like amped him up to fight Kizaru, and then he got washed or whatever like that. So I don't think he's accurate like that.
I don't know. Ferro, who you got top 5?
He's taking a call right now.
What?
He's taking like a phone call right now.
Oh,
I had his phone going on.
Let me say my top 5. I got Luffy. I still got Kid, Law. I put Urouge at 4, and then I got Drake 5.
I forgot about X Drake. It'd probably my 5 too.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yo,
about
every single supernova.
I think most Drake is gonna be a monster, yo.
Yeah, we real talk. That's factual.
I think he'll be the first. Like, all right, we seen full body hockey in the past, and they all keep getting cut in half. I think X Drake is gonna be the first full body hockey person who's gonna like utilize it correctly and not get cut in half.
But my thing is though, Urouge, right? Based on Shabondi, he was at the lower end of the spectrum as far as the supernovas, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we thought.
That's what we thought. And he managed to take out one of Big Mom's, Sweet Commanders. Is it far-fetched that when we finally get to Wano, Zoro will be able to take on Jack?
Yes, definitely.
I can see Zoro and Law taking on Jack, but I can't see Zoro taking.
Zoro.
Check this out. You got to think though. If Luffy and Law took on Dofi or whatever like that, and both Zoro went with Law or whatever, that they're gonna work. Like I think that you even see like Usopp is calling Law is calling Usopp. He's like, yo, God or whatever like that. They respect each other or whatever. So he's gonna be counting on Zoro.
He was joking.
Just take it easy, bro.
No, I'm saying no. As far as Law is concerned, it's like, yo, you got this crazy bounty. Your name is God. Usopp, yo, God, come here or whatever like that. Like,
nah.
That was troll.
No, I'm telling you, Law's not trolling. Law think like as far as Law knows, this guy is God Usopp. I'm telling you, Law is not trolling. Like, the bounty misled him.
I mean, he is God Usopp, but
I mean, come on, yo.
And even the cover page on this, I think Yasop is like laughing at the God Usopp thing or whatever like that. Like,
okay,
it's like people think that he's really God Usopp, and Frankie knows the truth. That's why Frankie's so mad about.
I think Law would know the truth as well, bro. I think.
No, I'm telling you, Law
knows.
I don't think Law knows the truth because just like Luffy doesn't even call Law by his real name, he calls him that other name or whatever like that. Like, it's little. Yeah, it's little funny things like that they do.
It's a joke.
It is, but it's not the type of joke Law is inside. It's like Law thinks he's God.
What's the point? Are you trying to say that Usopp is on Law's level, or?
No, I'm saying
Okay,
like
this is the dumbest
He's far
conversation.
above. He's
Yeah, that's
God.
what I'm trying to figure
no,
out.
I'm saying Law thinks that Usopp is this crazy god Usopp like person on the pirate on Luffy's crew that like
Alright.
he's high up in command or whatever because the
Okay,
bounty.
No.
And Frankie's mad because Frankie.
I
If you put it like
tuned
this,
back in.
all right,
Hold on.
hold on, look. I know some of y'all disagreeing, but let me say this. You see how he respects Usopp right now, right? He
Yeah.
respects Usopp a lot and how he calls him God and everything, but you
Yep.
see Frankie, he's not
Yep.
even acknowledging Frankie like that. But that's why
Dude,
Frankie's mad.
listen,
Frankie's
listen,
like,
Ty,
yo.
listen. People with observation haki, right? They can read and see how strong you are. Law has observation haki. I think he would know
You
just how
can't
strong.
you can't always say that because remember on Zoe, all of those other minks was all like over there and Luffy didn't even know. So observation hockey it isn't gonna
Yeah, but they
like,
use.
it's not gonna work all the time like that. Maybe he doesn't have it on.
No, the only person he couldn't see was Pedro, and we already discussed that Pedro's crazy fast.
No, remember at first he was like going head to head with this like bull guy or something like that, and then all of a sudden it was like mad at the minks in a tree or something like that, and Luffy didn't even notice them or whatever like that.
Of them, that's right, but they're
Yeah,
all
so you can't say that.
But they're all probably using the same technique. But like I said, it's probably something to do with electric.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But at the same
I don't
time,
know
though, like,
how to-
why wouldn't Law trust Zoro like he trusted Luffy after that or whatever like that? You know what I
Right,
mean?
you
It's like,
said-
I'm pretty sure if
what?
they're going together, he
No,
trusts.
come on,
Because put it like this, who?
Usopp. Why would he?
No, I'm just saying. I'm saying he trusts Usopp too because as far as he knows, that's God Usopp, and he has his crazy bounty or whatever like that, and he took Shiger out or whatever. Like Law doesn't know the details like that. But I'm
He
saying
doesn't
that
have
like
to. It's God Usopp.
yeah.
I can see what you're saying, Ty. Since he doesn't know the ins and outs, he can
Exactly,
assume
yeah.
that
Do you
Usopp's some
think
crazy.
Law is gonna be basically is gonna be a moment where he's depending on Usopp? He's like, God can do it.
Probably or whatever that, and maybe that's Usopp moment to like
I
really
think
step up.
if anything,
and live up to
it's
his
gonna be-
name or
is a
something
running
like that?
joke. It's a running joke then.
I found
No,
that.
Brago, I get that it's a joke or whatever. At the same time, Frankie was mad about that. You know what I mean? So he's mad about it for a
Wait,
reason. I'm telling you, as far
nah.
as
I found, we'll leave it.
I think we're
I
spending too
found
much
that thing
time on this.
Zoe.
Yeah,
I found that thing on Zoe, but
Oh,
Hey,
all right, but
FerroSpace,
this is not about the same thing though. What I'm talking about with Law and Zoro though is that because put it like this: who do you think is in charge over there? You think Law is in charge, or you think Zoro is in charge, or you think that they have some mutual understanding where like they're both kind of
It's
working with each
mutual.
other?
It's mutual.
Yeah, maybe Law is in charge or whatever. Like
That's
that.
mutual.
It's mutual, I think.
Come on, bro.
But Law has a higher bounty, and Law is a captain.
What does
already or
that
whatever
mean?
like
That's
that.
Zoro, bro.
You all right? You saying what is that? But remember, at the same time, I don't think Zoro wouldn't have been able to take out Cracker.
Okay, all right. So let's say this, right? Let's just use this small example. When we just watched the last episode of One Piece, and something was moving in the bushes, who stepped up? Who said I
You mean
got this?
Nami?
Who said I got this? When Carrot attacked. When the whole group was on Zo. Zoro.
It was Zoro, yeah.
Zoro. Law's right there, but Zoro was at the head of the group. I think it's a mutual understanding. Whereas, like,
No, yeah, but at the same time,
I think,
come on, that person that improves to be that could have been anybody or whatever like that. So
what do you mean?
that's
I
not
mean,
like
it could have been anybody, but Zoro
it's
did
not
it.
like no, but still, it's not like yo, that's one of the calamities right there, or whatever like that. Zoro's
But
like,
you didn't.
I got it. Or
He
whatever
didn't
like
know
that.
who it was.
Right, but come on, but we know that like it wasn't nobody. True, it could have been, it couldn't, or whatever like that. But I'm pretty sure like Law is gonna be more like Zoro was never because like even with Luffy or whatever like that. Luffy's in charge or whatever like that. Zoro's not like a kisser upper person, but I'm pretty sure Law's
What
gonna
I'm
be
saying
in
is
charge
they
of that.
both have different strengths. Where Law is a better strategist than Zoro, but as
Yeah,
far
so that's
as,
what I'm saying. So why wouldn't Law lead if he's the better strategist?
Where
You know
did
what I'm saying?
where did this like what was the original?
I don't know.
I
remember.
Wasn't it who was Zoro and Jack?
Yeah, Zoro vs. Jack.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I feel like it's gonna be
I
more
don't
of them.
think
It's
I
gonna
don't
be-
think that's happening. I don't think that's happening.
I
So
feel
what
like
do
it's
you
gonna
think?
be Law and Zoro versus Jack,
Yo,
not just Zoro.
at some point we got to get past these 2-on-1s, bro.
The
Okay.
Minks are rematching against Jack.
Hey, Brago, Ferro hasn't done his top 5.
Oh, Pharaoh's
The
back.
thing
my
about
top
the
five?
minks.
Yeah, your top 5 supernovas.
Okay, I got Luffy, then Law, then Drake, then Urouge, then Kid.
Luffy, Law, Drake. Whoa, we got Drake high. Okay. Oh, you got Kid, Rouge over Kid?
I think Kid's at 5 for me.
Urouge,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
then Kid.
Yeah, I got, oof. I'm not ready to
See,
put kid.
when you think about it, maybe a lot of the supernovas are
Wait, hold
absolutely
on, real quick,
crazy.
guys, real quick. If we have those guys at the top, who is the weakest supernova?
Capone, man.
Bonnie.
Nah.
I'm on the
King
Capone
Recon.
weakest. Where you got Recon?
Recon just gone.
Wait, who? Oh,
No, I was trolling. I'm sorry. I was trolling. Go ahead. I was trolling.
wait, who's the weakest?
Bonnie.
Bonnie, yeah, Bonnie Capone.
I think Bonnie has a hacks. I don't know. Capone is
Yeah, she can like one hit you, right? Like turn you to a kid
turn
and
you
like,
to a kid. Like
that's like Big Mom.
people are saying Capone scrub beige, so that's what I'm reading. I'm leaning towards Capone. Wait, Uosef, you had a question?
Huh?
You had a question? You were saying something.
Oh yeah. Nearly all of the supernovas are like crazy strong. Like no one mentioned Apu, but Apu could easily make it on that list. Apu was the only one pre-time skip to do damage to Kizaru out of all the supernovas.
Quote unquote.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
I was saying that Apu could give Fujitora problems. What do you guys think?
What?
Oh.
Well, the thing is, we don't know how his fruit works. Like from what we've seen, he
Hmm.
plays a song and it like tears you limb from limb. So you could say it could defeat anyone essentially.
No, as far as like him using sound, right? Because we feel like Fujitora's other senses are amplified because he is blind. So,
Oh right.
so
Yeah. I see that.
So then Apu, then
I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, guys. I posted that thing in the chat about the traitors.
the what? What in the chat?
The traitors on the Zoro.
Mm.
You've got Wanda, and she's talking to the little monkey because basically Carrot's just got on the Straw Hat ship, and like the monkey is shivering, obviously because he's scared. But there's like an arrow specifically pointing to him in the bananas or whatever to prove that he was bribed.
Right?
Wanda goes,
True.
"You were bribed, weren't you?" And the monkey goes, "It's not like Carrot would want to betray you or anything."
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, suspicious, man.
I don't know. It could be taken in two ways.
It
Where
can
it's
be
like,
taken in many
Well,
ways,
at
but
the same
that's
time,
the way
it
I
could
see
just
it.
be that. It could just be that, as far as they're concerned, she's like young and they want to protect her and they don't want her going off on that dangerous mission, but she really wanted to go. It could be. It could just be something like that.
But why? Because in that situation, there's nothing to do with like betrayal. Why bring it up? Why wouldn't you just say it's not like it's not like she would want to upset
Yeah, I
you?
can see where her theory is going.
Like why use the word betray? It's like he knows. Do you know what I mean?
could that be a mistranslation?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure when Manga Stream was, because this isn't Manga Stream I'm reading from, it's a different place. I'm pretty sure when Manga Stream came out, it had a similar translation.
People saying Bonnie's the perfect counter to Big Mom. I don't. Do you guys see that?
No,
Perfect counter to Big Mom.
Perfect counter.
she's a good successor.
A good successor.
Yeah, as in like if you were to at the end of story, if you were to replace Big Mom with someone with a similar fruit, it'd be Bonnie, I suppose.
I guess that's true. But the thing with Zora and Jack, Theory, you're saying you don't think Zora's gonna beat Jack. What do you think is gonna happen then?
I don't think. Oh no, I didn't say he wouldn't beat him. I said he's not going to fight him. I think the Minx, Inarashi and Nekomamushi are going to use his secret technique, and then it will be. I don't know. I don't know if they'd win, but Zoro's fighting the Shogun, no doubt.
I feel like it keeps getting said that Zoro's fighting the Shogun. Like the thing about with Jack, right? I don't think Jack is gonna fight them because they lost limbs, so now they're at a disadvantage or whatever like that.
Yeah,
like you see when it came to Jinbei wasn't trying to lose a limb at all. Jinbei's like, nah, whatever this
Yeah,
is,
but like
I'm not trying to
Inarashi
do
and
it. So it's like,
Nekomamushi are confident
didn't
that this
stand
technique can get him.
no, but I'm saying though, if they didn't stand a chance before with their limbs, I don't think they stand a chance now. And the thing with Zoro, they can fight Jack. Zoro and Law can fight Jack, and Zoro can still get his one-on-one with the Shogun later. I don't see why people make it seem like it got to be one or the other.
No. So earlier you're saying right
Hmm.
that Jack is the number one in the three calamities, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to say that Zoro could take on Jack, win, and then take on the Shogun.
I said
Straight up.
Zoro. I said Zoro and Law could fight Jack.
Ugh,
So
no.
Zora Law fight Jack, then Zora fights Shogun by himself.
Yeah, then Zoro fights the Shogun by
I
himself
feel like
later on or whatever like
Does
that.
that mean someone asked? Does that mean Inarashi and Nakamushi are weaker than supernovas?
No way.
No.
They're like cracker level in my opinion. Or just a
Yeah,
bit
they might be
below.
like Yonko Commander level.
The guys they were on Whitebeard and Rogers' crew. These guys are strong.
They said, well,
I-
so how strong is Jack?
Like another thing,
Jack's
Zoro was
crazy
really
strong.
like the yeah,
Do you think the Dukes right
and
now are
like
stronger than Luffy or in their prime?
nah, they're not stronger than Luffy.
In
Wait,
terms
wait,
of
wait.
in terms of like techniques and haki,
I don't think
maybe,
they should be stronger than Luffy right now.
but I think Luffy could defeat him
Yeah.
with Gear 4.
That's like this.
Yeah,
the
true.
cheat code for everything. Like Gear 4 Luffy. Wait, what were you saying, Ty?
Now I was saying that all right, like with Zoro, like because he hasn't even though Jack is OD strong or whatever like that, Zoro hasn't got a challenge yet. And when the whole Sanji thing happened, Zoro was mad, and Zoro he was like, "Yo, let's focus on Kaido. We got Kaido to worry about. We can't be trying to get Sanji back or whatever like that." So I feel like Jack is on the trail of Zoro and Law, whatever like that, and I don't think Zoro's gonna get the fight all by himself because he might lose that way. But I feel like him and Law is gonna team up and they're gonna fight.
How do we
Jack,
know that
this is gonna be.
they're not going to fight another Calamity though? Like we haven't met the other two. Maybe one of them's a master swordsman.
Yeah, all right. How do we not know that Enel isn't just gonna appear right now and shock Luffy?
But you
that.
see what I'm saying? Like we don't, just because we only know Jack, it doesn't mean we have to pit everyone against him. There are loads of other like.
No, but I'm saying that Jack could give Zoro that challenge finally that Zoro wanted or whatever like that. Because these people aren't. Zoro hasn't really been getting any challenges or like that. So like him and Law could try to take Jack out or whatever like that.
No.
And at the same time, even though remember Law Fruit is hacks or whatever like that.
So wait, listen, because it's 100% confirmed that the Minks are going to rematch against Jack. So you're saying that Zoro and Law are going to be that's going to
No, I don't think it's confirmed that it's because like I don't see them getting into it. Like I feel like if Jack comes back to Zoe, it's problems. I feel like they're all dying. Everybody over there.
No, the Minks are going to get Marco, and then they're going to Wano, and they want their rematch with Jack.
Wait, why you think that? What you think?
I'm saying like if Jack is going back to Zoe right now, they're all dead. So I feel like Jack instead he's going after Law and Zoro. Whatever. He's gonna stop them before they get to Wano. I feel like.
Wait, so they're gonna fight him on the way to Wano?
Yeah.
So
it's not about like matchups though, because there's a story too. Jack doesn't care about Zoro and Law. Jack only cares about finding where Raizo is.
Yeah, because if Jack,
not true, because Law is the one that got the history with Dofi, and Law is one of the people that beat Dofi or whatever like that. And it's like this. He would go after Luffy, but Luffy's in. I don't think he's not infiltrating Big Mom territory. So it's like, you know what? I can't get Luffy.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
I'm just gonna go after Law and Zoro.
I don't think he cares about like.
He doesn't care about revenge. He cares about the Doflamingo making smile for Kaido, and he cares about finding Raizo for whatever reason he needs Raizo for. That's the only thing he cares about. He doesn't care like about, oh, Luffy defeated Dofi, I need to go get revenge for him. No, he doesn't care.
I feel like he cares, and he's after Zoro and Law. Like we don't got to talk about this though. Just like whatever happens later on, if he's on Zoe, I'm proven wrong. If that's
the case, dude, he has so many people on his hit list. He has the entire Colosseum's worth of characters on his hit list.
Who?
Jack. If you're saying
no, it's not that. I'm telling you, look, like he's going after Zoro and Law.
He can't move. Like, he's in the water, dude.
He's not. Somebody's gonna save him. He's gonna get out. I'm telling you, he's gonna go after Zoro.
How's he gonna track them down? How's he gonna track them down?
All right, wait.
By following them or whatever like that.
We're overly focused on Jack, right? If we got Law and Zoro fighting Jack, right? Then who's gonna do the other calamities?
That's what I'm saying. And then he was like,
it's still other people. It's still other people to fight. Like Luffy could fight him.
Whoa.
Kid could come and fight him or whatever like that. Jinbei could be there or whatever. Like, it's a lot that could happen or whatever like that. Like we don't, like I said, like we don't have to talk about. We don't have to keep talking about this too much. But like I'm putting my bet. I'm putting my money on that Jack is going after Zoro and Law right now.
I think it's.
At the same time, you never know. He could even go after them and he could wreck them, and they could not make it to Wano. Who knows what could happen or whatever. Or they could beat him or whatever. But I feel like he's definitely going after Law and Zoro.
I think that it's going to be Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, and Luffy when Inuarashi and Nekomamushi fail at defeating Jack. You know, fighting Jack. So Luffy's going to take over the fight once they fail.
Luffy's gonna take over the fight. So you think they're gonna lose to Jack with their
There's
special
no way
power?
There is no way that like that would be such a disappointment.
Wait, isn't Nekomamushi looking for Marco right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
Marco.
they're eventually gonna re-meet.
I think that'd be perfect for Weevil to pop up then too. Because then Marco would be occupied. Because I think if it's Marco, Nekomamushi, and Inuarashi, that's.
I think Weevil's coming to Luffy first, though, in terms of what he's written down.
Yeah, he
Like,
might
so
come
it-
to
Yes, he
Mom.
gets to Luffy first, but then like he follows Luffy to Wano.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and then
What would you do if he showed up at Whole Cake?
If he shows
That's
up
where
at
I think he's
Whole
gonna
Cake,
show up.
It's
Yeah,
just,
me too. He could show up at the end of Whole Cake.
the
Like he
thing
might
is,
get invited to like the tea party or whatever.
if he shows up at Whole Cake, it's just like, yo, like how do they get out of this?
No, because here's the thing. Like, I've been said that he's probably gonna show up at the Whole Cake because remember, if the other arc was like, Alabasta or whatever like that, and this one is kind of like when they dealt with Moria. Remember, at the end of the Moria arc, Kuma came, so I could see Weeble coming being just as intimidating and like, all right, now you got to deal with me or whatever like that, and maybe Luffy's too weak to at that moment to deal with it. Maybe
Even
Jinbei
now,
gotta
how
deal
is
with it or
Luffy
something like that.
leaving Whole Cake Island?
Like I feel like even if like if Luffy would have lost this chapter to Cracker, I feel like it's not like this arc is not a big deal anymore because of Vivi card. Like I feel like it's nothing to worry about. Like it's the Vivi card, it's Jinbei around, it's too much. Like it's Sanji's there. It's like
I
it's
know,
too.
bro.
Yeah, like it's not as dangerous anymore. It's like with the whole Vivi card thing or whatever like that. It's like I'm not even worried. I'm not worried for nobody's life in this arc or whatever like that.
So you
But it's
think
still
they
a good
definitely
arc.
get captured and she uses the Vivri card to get away?
Well, I don't. Well, actually, I think that I've been saying this from before that Big Mom probably likes Luffy or whatever like that because he's so confident and stuff like that. And even with Sanji, Tamago told Sanji like, Big Mom, she thinks highly of you. She knows you were on Luffy's crew and everything and stuff like that. And now Luffy, let's say if Luffy takes Cracker out, right? I feel like Big Mom is gonna be like, we seen how fair of a pirate she was with Jinbei. So I think she's gonna be like, hold up, he did this. He defeated Don Flamingo. He did all of this. He defeated Cracker. You know what? I'm not scared of him, but I could respect him. And you know what? Let's give him Sanji back. They did rescue Lola or whatever like that. So I feel like it's gonna be some type of respect thing or whatever. Like maybe Big Mom will ally with him, or maybe she'll be like, all right, look, you can leave. We never let nobody leave, but you can leave. But look, next time we meet, we're enemies. Next time. And I think it's gonna be something like that.
Just
I
off the
think-
Vivri.
So like either she's gonna be a long-term ally, or she's gonna be like, look, we're letting you off the hook this one time. Next time, Luffy, we're not friends next time. And Luffy's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt next time or something like that. And they just go their separate ways.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see him getting off, like, and with everything intact.
And the way that I said, that's the like, everything's going good. Luffy beat Cracker and everything. But now it could still be it could still end that way where like, let's say that the strongest Sweet Commander comes or whatever the case is, and like Luffy's getting destroyed or whatever, and then it's like the Vivi card has to kick in and they have to like really beg for their life or something like that. But Big Mom come and then it's like, you know what? Look, this one time you can leave, but next time we're not gonna be friends. We're not gonna be nice to you. You have to fight us. It can end that way too. Because what I'm thinking about, you see how they said that when Urouge beat the first commander, right? They just sent Cracker. So what if Big Mom now she sends someone even stronger than Cracker now? That could still happen possibly. Like right after this Cracker fight, she could send the next person.
Yeah, because again,
It's
Brago,
like, then what?
I don't see why, like, let's say you defeat the strongest commander right now, like with Luffy or whatever. What's going to be the threat other than Big Mom for the rest of the arc?
I don't think Luffy's
True.
gonna win.
Yeah, agreed. I don't think so either.
I don't think he's gonna win. It's like,
Yo.
and he has to end this
You
release.
don't think he's gonna win against who? He's not gonna win against Cracker, or he's not.
No way.
Yeah, so it's like,
Nah, I feel
hmm?
like he could beat Cracker or whatever like that. Not guaranteed. Like I feel like he can still lose, but I feel like he pretty much like has Cracker and like dazed and like, oh snap, what just happened or whatever. I feel like he could beat Cracker.
I don't think he's gonna beat Cracker, and I think he's probably gonna run out of time.
Nah, I don't think because look what this one hit did. This one enraged hit did, or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
look what the first hit did to Dofi. It sent him across the entire city,
Yep.
right? And he was like, "What the hell just happened?" And then straight after, he got a drop kick to the face.
Yeah.
True, but I wouldn't like just because that was Dofi. These fighters, they all have their different stats. I keep saying so. Like with Dofi, that was the case. But I feel like with him, you know, his armament's the best Luffy seen or whatever, and I don't think he's gonna go down
You
that
have
same
to
exact way.
you
Like, I
have
think
to
Luffy
remember
could.
also. Listen. You have to remember also those first two hits that Gear 4 got on Dofi. He blocked and hackied up the block, whereas what's his name, Cracker. You can't really say he got hit by surprise because Luffy called out the attack, but he didn't block it and he didn't hack it up. So, you know, he took a big hit.
It took just
Yeah.
straight. People are asking, where do you think Shanks is? Daryl Nichols just asked, where do you think Shanks is if we don't see him reacting? To
That is
the
quite interesting, yeah, because he wasn't with Yasop, so maybe who knows? Maybe the red-haired pirates could be scattered around all over the place.
I think he gets his own cover page reacting to it.
Yeah.
Some people were saying that because it says on a certain island, it's like some dry. It says the ruins of a certain island.
Yeah.
Oh,
People are saying it's Baltigo.
yeah, I was thinking that.
Mm,
It's got
But
cactus.
before
There
we
were never cactuses on Baltico.
there's cactus there.
Yeah, but
but why would
there's
Shanks
a
go
desert
there?
on Baltigo.
I don't know. It's possible, but why would they do
Wasn't
it?
Baltico the White
Because
Island?
remember, Blackbeard was just there. He'd probably
You
be
think
after
they're
Blackbeard.
chasing down the Blackbeard pirates now? Then
Probably.
No, I don't think they're gonna do that because if they're doing that, that's like their accent to die in the story. That's like put it like this, like with Marco. Marco's not dead, but pretty much like they wanted to get even with Blackbeard out there, and that caused to the whole White Bear Pirates disbanding. So I feel like if they're gonna hold that type of grudge against the Blackbeard Pirates, they're just asking for like Blackbeard to get that one-on-one with Shanks and defeat him. I don't think they do though. You know what I mean? Like put it like this: even Sabo came, and even Sabo was like, "Look, Ace was his own man or whatever like that. I don't hold nothing against you, Burgess, or whatever or Blackbeard, whatever like that. You know?
No,
So, like-
Shanks has beef with Blackbeard. He definitely has beef with Blackbeard.
yeah, they're not.
Yeah,
cool.
definitely some black.
He wants to like. I feel like if Blackbeard is around, he wants to fight him, but I don't think he's gonna like. He devoted the rest of his like. He's like, yo, you know what? Forget the One Piece.
The thing
I'm
is,
not the Blackbeard now.
depends
I don't think that's what he's doing now.
Yeah, it depends on how much of a threat Shanks sees Blackbeard as, and if he feels like
I feel
he's
like
a threat that has to be taken out, I see Shanks
Yeah.
actually chasing him down to take him out.
well, that's the thing. True. If Shanks feel like it's one of those things where I gotta kill him now before he gets stronger, then yeah. But if Shanks is not worried about him, then I feel like even though people might get mad if I say this though, I feel like Shanks is at a bar drinking somewhere.
Really?
he's drinking somewhere or whatever like that. Like
It's possible.
It's possible, but I mean,
at the same time, don't get it wrong. That doesn't mean like he's a scrub because he's out drinking. Remember, this is the same dude that even though we've seen him drinking in the past, he came to Marineford and shut it down or whatever like that. So it's not like he's just like I feel like he's just enjoying life drinking somewhere or whatever like that. Like probably joking with somebody who we know or something like that, or probably with somebody or something like that.
so you think Shanks is never doing anything serious, or?
Marineford was serious. Stopping Kaido was serious, or whatever. He does serious things or whatever like that. I just feel like right now remember, even when Mihawk seen him, he was like, I got a hangover or whatever like that at first, which means he was drinking the night before or whatever like that. So like Shanks is probably drinking.
This is Shanks is drinking to get stronger. I mean, I don't know. Shanks could be anywhere. Hopefully, we see him soon, so we can kind of start to form the story as far as what he's gonna do, because it makes a lot of sense if he's actually chasing Blackbeard right now.
I don't want him to be like I don't think he's chasing Blackbeard. And I don't want him to be chasing Black because it's like put it like this. It's like that theory about Blackbeard killing Shanks is not 100% confirmed true. That can probably not happen or whatever like that. But if Oda's gonna make it that he's out there looking for Blackbeard, then it's like okay, that's pretty much hinting that he's gonna get that fight with Blackbeard. He's not gonna be ready. Blackbeard's gonna destroy him, which is like silly, I think. So like I don't think Shanks is fighting. He has better things to do than to be chasing down Blackbeard.
Like what? Drink?
Drinking, yeah. You only live once, yo. Shanks is like.
They say, what do you think of the
Shanks
four
is like
Yonkos?
drinking.
This is the last thing we can talk about. What do you think about the 4 Yonkos and Dragons bounties?
This guy wants drag bounty predictions. It's so hard.
Yeah, as
Pretty
far
good.
as,
What, the 4 Yonkos?
yeah.
You mean
I
like
think
what are they bounties, or
Yeah,
like
where
how
did it?
strong are they
Yeah.
compared to Dragon?
Like, so where do you think Dragons is?
Dragon's bounty's
You
probably
think
like 10
Dragons is just
mil.
like
like
unlimited?
10 bill.
Yeah,
I
10
That's what I
mil.
feel like. For some reason, I feel like Dragons is like 99999.
feel like you don't give a
That's what I feel
fuck.
like Dragon bounty is.
You just got like run.
Huh?
It's just like you see this man run. You know what I mean? Like it's like
But
giving
what I'll
Dragon a
say though about
bounty.
Dragon, I think
No
Dragon is
way.
stronger than the Yonkos.
But the thing is, if somebody was strong enough to bring in Dragon, would the world government just let him leave?
You know what? I'm not gonna say that what the bounties are, but I'll say like the order of who has the highest bounty. Definitely Dragon is the highest. I heard some people saying Shanks would be the next, but Shanks doesn't
Kaido, I
really do
think it's
any
Kaido.
damage.
I think it's
Yeah,
Kaido.
Kaido, because Shanks all he does
Yeah,
is just
Kaido.
chill on islands. That's pretty much it. Kaido and Big Mom.
Shanks
out there.
actually has like a good reputation, like with the Marines and all that, because like
Yeah.
Sengoku respected him during the war, so he doesn't like go around killing people and all that.
So maybe once you
Yes.
become a Yonko, it's like they just throw the whole bounty thing out the door. Like, I mean, who's bringing them in?
Yeah,
All the
no.
Yonkos.
Like,
But then no Yonkos are getting taken down by the admirals.
Okay. If like Cracker had like to fight Doflamingo, do you think that Cracker could take the W?
Cracker would get destroyed.
Nah, I think Cracker will win because he has stronger armament hockey than Dofi, which means Dofi
That
wouldn't be able to
200 HP would
damage
be
him.
drained quickly.
wait, what do you think, Pharaoh? Do you think Dofi could take Cracker?
That's a hard one, bro. Like, I think they're like on par, man.
Because
Like, it's gonna be a close fight, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's gonna-
I don't see Dofi like losing or I
think
don't know.
what's is going to show it's going to depend on how Cracker bounces back from Gear 4 because
No.
Dofi never really recovered.
See,
Yeah.
no, but the thing with Doffy was that when he got hit by Gear 4's first attack, he still got up and was like, "The fuck was that?" He didn't.
But
he wasn't.
like I said though, he blocked it and was hacked up. Cracker didn't have any defenses up.
True.
If Cracker's knocked out, then
But he broke Cracker's shield though.
yeah, he
That
did.
he couldn't break through that shield before with like the Gatling gun.
That's what I'm saying. Luffy got stronger, but the thing with Cracker is that like even if he's KO'd right now, I think he's still stronger than Dofi because like he definitely has stronger armament hockey than him. And then you got to think about this. Dofi's not going to be able if this guy has the strongest armament hockey Luffy's seen so far or whatever like that. Dofi's not beating him quickly, so that means Dofi's gonna have to fight him for a while. And every time this guy gets hit, his arms multiply, his shields multiply, his legs. He's gonna
But
be
then
giving Dofi
the more arms he has, the easier it is for him to get caught in Dofi's web.
I think it's just
No, I
easier
don't
for him
think
to
so.
like grab Dofi up by the neck and just be giving him like
Because
punches at
if
a
you
time and kicking him and
think
stuff
about
like
it, like as we've seen, like Spiderweb and a lot of the the actual fighting thread attacks are breakable. The only non-breakable strings we've seen is Birdcage. So if he's got more arms, he's just going to be slicing them up.
True.
I don't think it's that simple.
And remember,
it is
he
that
has
simple,
a
though.
special
Look
sword.
what happened. Because if you look at when Fujitora was about to get parasited, he dodged it, and I think he sliced at the air, essentially meaning he sliced at the parasite.
Wait, the parasite he just grabbed it.
Who?
Fuji.
I don't remember 100%. Go through it with me.
Because it was going for his neck and he grabbed it with his observation haki. So it's like
With his hands.
his fingers, yeah.
What? Like a balloon?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he like dodged it and like sliced them up.
No.
Ah.
Dofi's trying to use a parasite. So it's like with Cracker, I don't know. It's as far as armor haki, he's stronger than Dofi, according to Luffy. But as far as Devil Fruit Mastery, it's hard to say right now who would win.
Yeah, I think it's too early for
Yeah.
for this discussion, honestly.
Yeah, it's way too early. But I mean, judging, and then you don't want to just use bounty.
I'm gonna sync with the ship.
You're gonna sync with the Cracker ship.
Yeah, man.
So if Cracker doesn't get up next chapter, then what?
Like a good captain, man.
I feel
I'm
like
going down.
But do you know what I think this is? Yeah, I think if Cracker does stay down next chapter, it would only be to progress the story. Because otherwise, if he was to get up next chapter, then what? This whole fight would last forever. There's not going to be any way for them to get out of this, because he literally had to go gear 4 to get him off of him. Like, he had no way of pushing him back that whole time. He had to go gear 4 just to knock
there's a
him
lot
back.
of other plot elements in the forest to fulfill,
Yeah, see,
such as Brûlé and getting Chopper and Carrot out of the mirror.
Or whether they actually just get caught and taken to Big Mom.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Brago, another thing too is that look how much Luffy and Law was able to do without even going gear 4. But this guy, he was giving Luffy not even a inch. He was all on Luffy.
How much?
Like they did it. Luffy did a lot without even going gear 4 or whatever. Even though gear 4 was when he actually started to do damage.
Luffy didn't do
With this guy,
dude.
no, but I'm saying he went gear 4 towards the very end of the fight. Yeah. No, even all right, even him and Law in 1-on-1. It's like Luffy was regular Luffy. He was
regular
using
Luffy
other
didn't touch
moves.
Luffy.
No, but he still fought though, or whatever like that. He fought him. He went gear 2nd. He did gear third for a while, whatever like that. Then he was like, all right, you know what? I gotta go gear 3rd. But with this guy, it was not working at all. It was like he really had to like, not even a Hulk Gatling gun or nothing like that. He really had to like, you know
But
what?
that didn't work on
gear 4
Luffy
or whatever
either.
like that.
He did get a Red Hawk on him.
No, but he did hit him though.
Okay, how
He hit
was
him
he able to
though.
get
Luffy
Red
just
Hawk on
had.
him? How was he able to get Red Hawk on him?
I know Law helped him to do
Okay.
it, but I mean,
Yeah, Law
he
helped
did-
him, but even
Okay.
when he got the hit in, it's like.
What are we
It
saying?
did nothing. All that Cracker. It's like I don't. It's like
Luffy didn't do
Cracker's
anything
stronger
before
than
gear
Luffy.
4. What was he able to do? Everything he
Luffy-
did was with Law.
Luffy. All right. Didn't Luffy try way harder with Doffy before get? It's like with this guy, Luffy did like a couple of attacks or whatever like that, and got hit a lot of times. It was like, you know what? I'm going gear 4 with Doffy. He was really trying to like not use gear 4 on Doffy.
He got really mad at that guy because of what he said about Sanji. So he's like, he got really upset. Then he went gear 4. With the whole Luffy versus Doffy, it's like when it was 1-on-1 before gear 4, Luffy wasn't doing anything, and Doffy was toying with him.
Yeah, but Gear 3rd and 2nd weren't doing anything to Cracker either.
Right.
Yeah, Cracker was toying with him too, talking all of that
Luffy
junk or whatever like that.
Luffy tried gear 3rd and 2nd as well against Doffy,
Yeah.
and he didn't do anything. So it's like I don't feel like we should use that.
But Luffy kept trying stuff though. With Cracker, it's like you know what? He's not able to do. He wasn't able to do anything.
The way I see it, right, is when you go Gear 4, no matter what time limit you use, you're gonna have a big drawback regardless, because you're like when he first activated it, Law even said he's using a tremendous amount of haki, right? So that means if you just turn it on and off, you're gonna have a drawback, whether it's like 1 minute or 2 minutes of no haki usage.
Yeah. Then also it's
I
like
feel like
Cracker walked in after like a 8-hour nap and stuff. Doffy just took like gamma knife, injection shot, counter shot.
Meteors.
I mean,
Yeah, he was fighting the whole day. Like,
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you're gonna go Gear 4 in an arc, right, you can't just one-shot someone and then walk away. You're gonna be on the floor without haki for 10 minutes again.
That's what I'm saying.
Then what you gonna do?
Well, I feel like it doesn't work that way. Like I honestly feel like if Luffy, let's say Cracker's down for the count, right? Or if Luffy beats Cracker within a few more moves and he doesn't overuse the limit, like let's say like this fight is only a 5-minute fight or whatever the case is, I feel like if he can just power down and he'll be exhausted or whatever like that. Because you know he didn't withstand, he didn't burn it out.
That was
I don't know if that's
just
necessarily the
bad.
case though, because if you remember Gear 3rd, all he did was just to open the door. So that was like 5 seconds, and he still had the drawback. So I think the same thing applied to Gear 4.
But see, but with Gear 4th was different. I mean, Gear 3rd was different because that's like a one punch deal thing or whatever like that. So where like Gear 4th is actually something he can maintain for 30 or 20 minutes or whatever.
No,
like
but
that.
no,
So I
but
feel
Gear
like
6 can be maintained for a long bit of time, but it still damages him. He's
Yeah.
like overexerting himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drawback is going to come regardless.
So I don't know if he comes out of Gear 4 without that drawback, that would show some development and he has gotten stronger. But
That would be so broken.
he still would be weakened though. Like it probably like he can't walk or something. Not I don't know, but it's gonna be something that
That
Gear
would be
4.
so broken,
That's why I feel
Brago.
like it was kind of stupid to use Gear 4 off the bat. He should have just ran away.
That's
because
why I think it's not over. Like, he has to go all out and lose.
do we see another Gear?
A new technique.
I don't
in
think we
Gear
see
4,
another
maybe.
Gear.
yeah, a new technique in Gear 4. I like to see that.
Not now. Not now.
That's like
When we're
It has to be now, though.
I
It
think
can't
no,
be any other
it,
time. It has to be
it
now.
is It is plausible because if you look at it, let's just use this as an example. And whenever he used Gear Second against Bluno, it was he used it then. He was thankful to him that he was able to try out this technique now. So if he uses one of his new techniques now, and then he'll be able to do it later on whenever the opponents get stronger, maybe even a Big Mom or whoever it is, then it would actually make sense for him to premiere it now because this is looking pretty drastic.
So yeah, like a new technique, yeah, new gear. I don't think.
Yeah, because Rayleigh mentioned something about using something more efficient, but like I think that's what he has to use. Like,
But
he's wasting too much energy, and he's definitely gonna run out. Like, he's gonna be on the floor, exhausted after the fight. I don't know who's gonna win, but
Luffy's base though, Luffy's base seems to be just I don't know.
It's kind of useless at the moment.
Yeah, he needs
to work on his base because if he can work on his base, then his transformations are going to be ridiculous.
But you know what I think he could possibly do is like how for Gear 4 people saying it's like a mix of second and third all at once, and he's putting everything out. What if he could just do like a Gear 3rd arm, but it's like the Gear 4 form where he can do like a con gun, but it's just one arm. That way, it doesn't really damage him as much.
That's what I was saying. Like, he could use like the hockey from Gear 4 as well in the Gear 2nd mode, which would probably amplify his strength, but he's not having a huge drawback of overusing his hockey while in Gear 4.
I think Luffy base is good. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with Luffy base. It's just that it's like, okay, Cracker is a sweet command. That's a big deal in the story. So he's gonna be that strong against Luffy. It's not something that like Luffy has to work on or whatever like that. It's that Cracker's that strong or whatever like that. Like with Dofi was that strong or whatever that he had to do. It's nothing because remember, Luffy beat. He beat powerful people with those, even though it's not working on Cracker or Dofi, he beat other powerful people with those forms or whatever like that. So it's not that he has to work on them. I think that like it seems like you don't want to give Cracker his just due or whatever like that. Like it's like you saying like because by saying Luffy has to work on his base is like saying
no.
It's like saying he has to.
I'm one of those people that thinks that Cracker should be able to outright beat Luffy, but I do agree with the fact that Luffy's base isn't up to scratch. Because when you do think about it, Dofi didn't have 1,000,001 forms that he turns into. All of these people that Luffy has been fighting didn't have 1,000,001 forms to turn into. Like they were fighting in their base forms. If they're Devil Fruit, like think about Rob Lucci. Way back in the day when he literally wiped out everybody and then just showed them at the end, you know what, yeah, I haven't even used my devil fruit yet. That's what it should be.
Yeah, that's what it should be like.
At the same time, Luffy, but Luffy has his style. That's what he does. He does gears. Nobody else does that. So that's his style. So since that's his style, and since he does have gears, he's going to have like gear 2nd, gear 3rd, gear 4th, and he's going to do that, but other people's not going to do that.
But the thing is, okay, so gear 4 doesn't work, then what? Then what?
He was like, then maybe he has something else, or maybe he loses. People lose fights or whatever like that. It's not that he has to work on his base. Because put it like this: at the same time, that even though Dofi didn't have a bunch of forms, right? What form took Dofi out? It was Gear 4. Dofi's like, yo, what? Like he's rubber and he's using Argument at the same time. Like that.
I think another thing is though, like if you're saying he has to improve Gear 2nd and 3rd, wouldn't that essentially make the point of Gear 4 usseless?
No.
Yeah, because if
no, increase his base.
Listen.
As far as his hockey usage and his overall.
Wait. If Gear 2nd and 3rd, right, are in this improved state, are enough to deal with someone like Cracker, is what you're hoping for, right? Like to at least get blows on him and do damage. Why does he need to go Gear 4?
To win.
No, because if
he can still win though.
If you're continuously pounding on him with these upgraded techniques, you would win eventually. It would just be longer.
Not necessarily. I'm saying like he got completely overpowered in his base form. Right?
No, but Gear 4 is supposed to be like an ultimate form. Like most characters
that's like
have
a
like an
last
ultimate
resort,
form.
But Luffy's using it as a last resort now.
It's like how Doflamingo has Awakening. It's like your strongest ability.
Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? Like you're saying like the blows he's doing to Dofi and Cracker right now with Gear 2nd and 3rd are not enough. Gear 2nd is fast but not enough strength, and Gear 3rd is enough strength but too slow. Or he's not got enough haki on him, or whatever.
I think I just got here, but
the improvements that you're looking for. If he gets them, and he were to take on Dofi again, and he was able to tussle with him in that state, what's the use? Because because for both arguments, what's the use of Gear 4 if you can defeat Dofi in that state? But then if he can't, what's the use of even having the upgrades?
Because he's not going to be fighting Dofi the rest of the series.
Yeah, but if he's going to be fighting people stronger than him.
Mm-hmm,
I think
exactly.
he's just trying to say that there's too much of a gap right now between like Luffy's powers.
No,
It's
If you
a
think
huge gap.
if you think about the last 3 fights he had, he hasn't done a single point of damage.
I agree,
anyone.
but I don't think he needs to improve them. I just think he needs new techniques.
No, I think he has to improve like his base form though, and that in turn would increase all his techniques if he improves like his base form.
If you think about his fight versus Cracker, Fujitora, and Doflamingo, he hasn't done shit versus any of them.
No, but check this out though. Like Fuji, he didn't use Gear 4 on Fuji. He fought.
Yeah,
Fuji.
I'm just saying he still didn't
So
even do
listen to this
Do we
then.
think he had a
Why wouldn't Rayleigh during those 2 years tell him when Gear 4 wasn't working against those monkeys or whatever because it didn't work? He said, why didn't he go? How about you try not overexerting yourself and being an
He
idiot?
did say that.
How about
He actually did
no wait
He did say
listen,
that.
listen. He said you need something better, right? He never said improve.
You're overexerting yourself.
Yes, but he never. But the thing is,
He's trying to say.
wait, listen. The flashback that was used for was straight before King Kong Gun,
Right.
suggesting that the Gear 4 wasn't enough. He says you were overexerting yourself. You need more efficiency or whatever. But the flashback was to introduce King Kong Gun. That's what it was leading up to.
Remember, then the flashback did say that isn't exactly what I had in mind. So when Luffy then came back to King Kong Gun, Rayleigh then said that isn't what I had in mind. But
Where
I
did
guess
he
it
say?
was.
Where did he say that?
I don't know.
No, I think I remember him saying that.
Yeah, he
But
said
he
something.
still
like
said
that.
it worked though.
No, the thing
He
is,
said it worked, but it wasn't what he had in mind.
Yeah,
Something
what
like
he
that.
I'm gonna double check
I
that.
remember.
so the thing is though, Luffy, what he's doing right now is very reckless, right? It's like, all right, boom, I'm gonna use Gear 4 this time so I can beat him. What if it doesn't work? Then what?
But you got to take chances like that. We know in the new world it's no joke, and I feel like with Luffy
Luffy would
base
be
form and
dead
stuff like
right
that,
now
it's
if
like
it wasn't for the people of Dressrosa.
but put it like this, like you already feel like that Crack is weaker than Dofi or whatever like that.
Who?
So it's like
When
put it
did I
like I said,
feel-
you
I
already
didn't
feel
say
like Dofi's stronger than Cracker. So I'm just trying to say that if Luffy, well, you were saying like in a matchup that Cracker would have problems against Dofi or whatever. Like we were just talking about that not
Anybody
too long
would
ago.
have problems against Dofi.
All right, but
Anybody's
look,
having problems.
if you feel like Cracker is weaker than Dofi or whatever like that, and you want Luffy to do better in his base form, it's like that. Because here's what people's using. It's like here's what a lot of people's doing. It's like okay, like the Heart of Gold special, which was good, but then it's like Luffy ain't even go Gear Force or whatever like that. That guy was weak or whatever like that. Or like with this chapter, what I seen a lot of people doing, which I didn't like, they're like, oh, Luffy had to go Gear 4 for just a Yonko commander. Like he's gonna need Gear 5th if he's gonna fight Big Mom. And it's like, yo, it's not even just like enjoy the fights and stuff like that. It's like people want too much too fast. The story's gonna progress. He's gonna get to a point where he can take care of these people, but for right now, it's like, look, while you're saying he needs to work on his base, right? He's the second supernova to maybe take out a commander, and he's taking out a stronger one because Cracker is stronger than the other one that got defeated by Rhodes. So Luffy's doing pretty good.
Okay, wait. I've got the quote here from Rayleigh, right? The first part of the flashback is sorry, let me get it back up. Way bigger than my Kong gun, or else there's no point. And then Raylaigh's like, haha, now that's a problem, isn't it? I guess it's time I teach you something new then. Gear 4 is something very taxing to the body, though. ...
Mm-hmm.
So, essentially suggesting that Luffy wanted something bigger than Kong gun. And
Or
then
something
Rayleigh
more
was like,
efficient.
no. Listen. He says, way bigger than my Kong gun, or else there's no point.
Well, Luffy said that?
Yeah,
Luffy says that to Rayleigh. And then Rayleigh's like, okay, I guess I better teach you something. But Gear 4 is very taxing on the body.
So what are we arguing?
I'm arguing that Rayleigh did obviously say Gear 4 is dangerous to him, But he wasn't saying, I'll teach you something else. He was saying, I'll teach you a bigger move for
But
Gear
the thing
4,
is,
but
but
don't
the
use
thing
it too
is,
much.
Rayleigh mentioned that for a reason. That is taxing on the body. Like you can't just keep depending on this.
Yeah, he did suggest that. But
Right.
wait, listen. If it was the flashback for the King Kong gun, that suggests that that was the point where he taught him King Kong gun. But wait, yes, he goes, it's taxing to the body. Don't use it all the time. Don't rely on it. That means Luffy in his own time will figure out something new. Rayleigh didn't teach him that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So right now, do you think that Luffy has to increase his base form so
I
he
think he
doesn't have to
does.
rely on that taxing form?
But when is he going to do that?
I don't know. I'm saying it needs to be better.
Do you know what I mean?
feel-
Like he has to have more up his sleeve. I mean, I think he does have more in his I think he has more like lower versions of like Gear 4, like less consuming forms.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think it's just a weird point in the story right now to where all the characters he's fighting against are just way stronger than him.
True.
That's why.
So he's just super reliant on Gear 4.
Well, it's
I
just
understand what you're
it's just
saying,
like a
bro.
thing to where like the characters are so much stronger than him that he has to use his best form right away to even stand a chance.
Do you think that's the right way to be fighting right now?
I think it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I don't think he has
it's to
a
show
choice.
you. I think it's to show you, even though he trained for 2 years, it isn't enough to be Pirate King, boy. Go back and train some more.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
like-
he needs to increase
but
his base form. That's what I'm saying.
At the same time, like when Goku got Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3, whatever, like he had to keep using those for the top tier people. So it's like I don't see nothing wrong with what Luffy's doing. He's actually the most impressive supernova so far.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
like that.
I mean,
I
he's
still
a-
think Kid is
he's the main
stronger than him
character.
though, but you know,
Yeah, he's
if
doing all
he's
right.
the most impressive, he's doing. Kid needs to work on his base
He's
form.
the main
Or
character.
whatever like that. Capone needs to work on his base form. Other
We
people,
haven't
I don't think
seen-
Luffy
what?
needs to do nothing.
the main character. I can say.
No, but
I don't know. I think Zoro's.
But
been
still, Oda
impressive.
didn't make him hacks because he could have had easily gave Luffy like Fuji fruit, or he
Come
could have
on,
gave
bro.
Luffy Ace
We're not-
fruit,
we're
or
not
he could have like he didn't make Luffy hacks. So it's like
We're not going.
Luffy's good.
I'll bring up
he-
this also, like what Ty is saying. You could argue that Law needs to improve his base form because he can't deal with
Yeah.
Doflamingo on his own. You know, Law has advanced his fruit massively. It still has a strain on his body because it's new to him. But the more he uses it, I suppose, the less of us, and like the more efficient he becomes with it, the better it will be. Like Luffy just has to become more efficient with Gear 4 at the
And-
very least.
And what I feel like is gonna end up happening, yeah, he's struggling with Gear 4th now, but when he used to use Gear 3rd, he used to turn small. He no longer turns small anymore. He can just use Gear
that is
3rd. So he's gonna probably through all of this trial and error and struggling, he's gonna perfect Gear 4th to where like he's just gonna be able to stay in it for a real long time or whatever like that. And then
Yeah,
when he
but at the
does,
same time, that was like it took him like what, like 4 arcs for him to get past to get.
Like I think it was One World HD a long time ago. Like when we were back in Dressrosa, they made a theory that he would meet Scopper Gaban,
Oh, yeah,
and
I
then
heard this
Scopper
in
would be the
Wano.
one. Scopper would be the one to help him master his Devil Fruit.
In
Yeah.
Wano. Yeah, I remember that.
Because Rayleigh doesn't have a Devil Fruit. He's the master of Haki. Scopper would essentially be the one to teach him how to use Devil Fruits.
Awaken.
Wait,
Well,
do
I
you
feel
guys
like-
think
I don't.
do you guys think Luffy has learned anything with like Conquerors? Like since Rayleigh was like a master with
You
it.
can't train conquerors. It's something you develop as you grow. He says.
Nah, but I still think I feel like really had to have taught him like a few things.
Well,
like,
he basically said that the intent to train him in King's Haki was that he doesn't just blast it everywhere and not kill, but KO citizens. He trained him so that he could choose who it was he wiped out.
Yeah, but don't you think that he said something during the time skip? Like, once you get good enough at Conqueror's Hockey, you can. Like,
Yeah, you can do this.
use it in
Yeah,
this way.
yeah, probably, but you can't teach him it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's just saying. He's saying like, once you get good enough, you can do this, and then he like fucking.
I suppose one, like if you really want to stretch it this far, the rubbery haki and the way Python acts on its own could be something Luffy's picked up on his own from what Rayleigh's probably given him an example of something, and he's developed via that.
Well,
Do
because
you know what I mean?
like if you remember when like Rayleigh was first teaching Luffy before the time skip even started, he did this like fucking hockey beam shit, and I don't think we've even seen another
That
character use
wasn't
that
no,
yet.
that wasn't a haki beam. That was the anime over exaggerating.
I don't know. I only
In the
watched an
manga,
anime.
do you remember Sentomaru and Boa's sister? It's that, but like the perfect version. Like the elephant tried to stomp on him. He puts up this barrier. The elephant bounces off.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So you can't learn conquers, but that doesn't mean you can't teach it.
Yeah, you probably can teach what you can do with it, and that's what I was saying. Like Python and the rubbery. Like when Dofi tried to kick him and the haki was still rubbery.
That should be a combination.
Yeah, that might be things that really gave an example of what you could do. So Luffy learned it, but
So
it's not something he could show him.
Right now, they're arguing
I feel like with that,
feats in
though,
their comments. Hold on, they're
I
arguing
feel like
feats in
Luffy
their
learned that on
comments.
his own, though. The whole double fruit and mixing his double fruit with
I
the
don't.
armament.
Yeah,
feel
I think
Luffy
most
did
of
it on his
the
own.
stuff Luffy
Yeah,
learned is on his
yeah.
own, but it's like really gave him hints as far as like this is
Yeah.
what you can use to improve this and this.
So at the same time, even though he did not master his double fruit yet, that was impressive that he mixed it with the armament like that. And I feel like he learned that he's gonna pick up awakening from Dofi. That like he's seen it.
No,
he's
no,
gonna
no,
be able
no,
to do
no,
his
no.
own thing.
I think you
He
guys
might not do
misunderstand my point. My point isn't
No,
that
I'm saying,
Luffy
like,
isn't going to get stronger. Obviously, he is. What I'm saying is how he's fighting right now is reckless, and that if this Gear 4 doesn't work against Cracker, then they're fucked.
Yeah.
Not really, because the Vivi card and stuff like that. This arc is like
Right.
a walk on the beach right now. Like,
But okay,
but he doesn't have a lot to lose
I can
at this
say
point.
I can say this. What Brago's trying to say is if there was no scapegoats like the Vivri card or some
Yeah.
nonsense to bail him out, Luffy isn't ready to go in there and save Sanji. He can't do it.
True.
Right, but I think that's exactly what this arc is going to be used for.
To show him that he's not ready, yeah.
Yeah, to prove that
you're right.
exact point.
But then
Yeah.
I think
But
it's showed.
at the same time, though, since that punch hit Cracker crazy, at the same time, you can't be so quick to say he's not ready. He's not ready.
No, 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 no.
They was like, yo, Cracker, you okay? Like, yo, what happened? Like, Luffy did pretty good still.
No.
He just needed to go to that other form.
But the thing is, he beat Doflamingo, right? Beat Doflamingo.
Yep.
But then we
Barely.
saw everything that happened there. It was just like, damn, Luffy can beat Dofi one-on-one. Like, what's going on? And then it's like, for him to be able to take out a Yonko right now, we think it's crazy because it's just like how inefficient Gear 4 is. He has
A
to get better.
Yonko, yeah. Here's the thing. A Yonko, yeah. One of their commanders know or whatever like that. Like, I feel like the Yonko is gonna happen later. I had already said before that I felt like if Luffy, I've been said this. I said that if Luffy could just beat Big Mom's second in command or her third in command and escape from the island, people will talk about that just like they did talk about Crocodile and like they talk about it now. Like, oh snap, Luffy invaded Whole Cake Island. He got Sanji back. He took down Cracker. He left the island. He's the first to like, how big that would be. So I feel like that could still happen right now with this Cracker thing. Like, he doesn't have to fight Big Mom, and they had already said that he's not gonna fight Big Mom. He's just gonna try to get Sanji and leave.
What are you saying?
Think about it like this. If Luffy could defeat Big Mom's second in command, what is keeping her in that Yonko spot? Why is Akainu and them lot not just rolling over there right now with a squad of Marines and taking out everybody?
That's true.
True,
It
but at the
shouldn't
same
be that
time,
easy.
I said her second or her third in command or whatever like that.
Yeah,
And you gotta
second
remember
or
that
third in command is still powerful though.
The thing where we've
But
acknowledged that
Cracker-
they're all going to be around the same level. They're gonna be
Cracker
all
is
around-
definitely third in command, or he's stronger though. So I feel like he's third. So you
Well, I mean,
can't
at the
necessarily
same
say that.
time, like,
And it's a big gap between Marco and Whitebeard. So it doesn't mean it's like even if the second in command was to get beaten or whatever like that, it was a big gap between Marco and Whitebeard. So it's not like Big Mom could just go get taken out now. It doesn't necessarily mean that. And in the scenario we have right now, Luffy's fighting her third strongest. So if he can beat him, and Jinbei can come and they can just like zip the island
but
or
you're
whatever, or the
thinking
beauty
about
card
one
happens.
person though. You're thinking about one person beating her third in command. If that's possible, then why are all of these other crews that roll in squads? Why are they not doing anything? If it was
Because
that easy for one person,
Remember, everybody's not Luffy, and then it's the whole thing that
the fight isn't over though. Like,
Yeah, we can't.
it's the whole thing that
And then
check
we're
this out.
assuming-
Even though Luffy's doing this now, right? If Luffy would have never took 2 years to train, and he would have went to Big Mom right in without 2 years of training, him, Zoro, they all would have got
No,
destroyed.
no, but
They
he wouldn't have
had
gotten
no
past
chance.
Fishman Island.
Well, I'm saying like if we bypass Fisherman Island and just put him in the same scenario now,
We can't do
it'd
that,
be a
though.
wrap. The whole crew. So it's that to think about too.
Whoa,
No.
whoa,
Like,
like,
I
listen,
just,
listen,
like,
listen,
right now,
listen.
like, I don't think Zoro would be able to beat Cracker because Luffy said he had the strongest armament he ever seen or whatever like that. But I feel like Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, if they was all on there, it'd be a wrap. The whole Cake Island would be like the number one in command would definitely have to come. I feel like if they was all over there.
I think you're underestimating.
Look at it.
And
like
hold
this.
on. I'm not underestimating. Look, Brago. If Luffy's there, Law there, Sanji. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. We know Jinbei's there. We know who Jinbei's riding
You're
out with.
underestimating.
Law's
Luffy.
cooling with. Law's chilling with Luffy now. So you trying to say if all of them is there that the first in command isn't gonna have to come? Not Big Mom, but I'm saying like the first in command is gonna have to come. It would be crazy.
So
And then another thing too.
Hold on, dude. There's no way fucking that Luffy one-shotted Cracker. I hope you guys all realize that. Really.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
saying that Crack is one-shotted though. I'm saying that like Luffy still is
I'm just
probably
saying,
gonna win
like,
this fight.
the fight is gonna be like way more difficult. Like, I'm pretty sure like the whole thing that was going on right there was that he caught Cracker off guard because he just went straight into Gear 4th and hit him when Cracker wasn't putting on any hockey.
Yeah,
Thank
true.
you.
But now
I think now after he realized he's gonna get back up, and then it's gonna be like him blocking with hockey again.
all right, true. But you got to think that punch probably took a lot of
Yeah, probably.
like
but
energy from him.
Ty, listen. Like, how are you gonna bring in a man named Thousand Arms Cracker, right, and not let him go 100% in a fight? You're just gonna let him get a couple hits in, and that's it. He's done.
yeah, and he's gonna one-shot.
I'm not saying. I never said. Wait, hold on, because theory. I never said. Remember, I was telling you before the stream start that he's actually not KO. So I don't think he's KO, but I think that Luffy's gonna win this fight, and it's not gonna last for much longer or whatever. Like.
Also, think about it that
Like-
can you imagine that like the way they hyped or the way they talked about the supernovas this chapter, where it's like, oh, all the other supernovas came in, but only one of them was able to take out a commander. Like Luffy would be so much better than all the supernovas if he could just almost one shot one of the commanders without even using his strongest attack.
I'm not talking about he's one shot. I'm talking about him winning the final match against him or whatever like that. Even if he does one shot him or whatever like that. Because I'm not big on one shots. It's like whatever. A person defeated is a person being defeated. But you know, like Luffy, I feel like Luffy could beat Cracker or whatever like that. You know, maybe he can lose, but if Luffy was there, Zoro was there, Law was there, Sanji's there, Jinbei's there, it would be like the first strongest Sweet Commander would definitely have to come. It would be chaos over there, whatever that. And what I was gonna say, but I didn't get to say, is now not only those people. Imagine if Luffy had his whole fleet there, everybody. It'd be a wrap. Yo, Big Mom would have to come or whatever like that. Like put it like this: if Luffy loses to Cracker, look, if Luffy loses to Cracker, then no. But if Luffy beats Cracker, I don't care how long the fight is, how short the fight is. If Luffy beats Cracker, that means that if his whole crew is there, if Law's there, you know, Jinbei's there,
Luffy and Law
and
team
the
up
whole
Big Mom.
yeah, and the whole fleet is there and stuff like that. The Big Mom definitely has to come after that. Like if he's doing all of this damage by himself, pretty much, with just him, Nami, Cracker, and Carrot or whatever.
Yeah,
I still don't think they're doing Big Mom.
Wait.
Yo, Brago, hold on. So look, so you're trying to say Luffy?
If you're saying that if Luffy, Law, and his whole entire fleet went to Whole Cake Island, they would have a good chance against Big Mom, right?
I'm not saying that they would have a good chance against Big Mom. No, listen, because I changed my words.
I'm just wondering what you're saying.
He said Big Mom would have to come out there herself.
Exactly, yeah. Like her first commander would have to come, and then Big Mom herself would probably even have to come. Is what I'm saying.
I just said they wouldn't.
I'm not saying that they're gonna beat Big Mom.
I said they wouldn't.
I'm not saying that they're gonna beat Big Mom. I'm saying that they would be. You see how they're saying that
all them characters, it took all those characters just to beat Doflamingo, and Big Mom is like on that completely other league.
What's the point of them going, all those guys going, if they're not going to win?
All right, no, here's the thing. They're not gonna beat Big Mom, but you see how Brule said that, like, obviously Kid was with his crew or whatever like that. So you see how Brule was like, you know, oh, you know, they couldn't even get past Cracker, and only one of them got past one Sweet Commander.
Was he with his crew?
I'm pretty sure he was. Why would Crew be rolling without his crew or whatever like that? Like,
why is Luffy without his crew?
True, but Brago, like, don't use now to do like what you did before, where like you make all of these like bizarre examples or whatever like that. We know he was with Killer pretty much or whatever like that.
Pretty much assume he was with his crew.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Exactly. So now all I'm trying to say is that it was already said that Luffy has the
split up.
Yeah, he's always with his crew. So look.
I'm assuming though that
you know why he's not with his
exactly. So how can you assume
you know
with his crew?
Because you have to
we don't know why.
We don't know. Listen. The reason we are split up is because we know about the road poneglyphs, right? And we're split up in order to go get them. We're also split up to help Kinemon. We're also split up to help the Minks and Rise on land.
Everything that's going on with the Straw Hats.
Right. But it's been revealed to us that nobody knows about the road poneglyphs unless you reach the end of the New World, right? So how would Kid and all that be split up looking for these road poneglyphs if they don't know about them? They would be in one crew
True.
currently.
They could be looking for other things. We just
What would they be
focusing
looking?
on
What are they
one
looking
thing.
for?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
we don't
it's
know.
like
It's like the thing with feats, right? We're saying, oh, Luffy has been the most impressive character. Urouge they just reveal what Urouge did, and all of a sudden he's in the top 5 for everybody.
Well,
It's like we keep just
I will say this though.
degrading all these other characters because Luffy's the main character.
I wasn't here, so I want to say this, but like I don't know if anyone said this already, but if you look at like the panel where they show the 4 supernovas that were there, it goes Kid and then Apu and then Capone and then Urouge. So I'm pretty sure like that's like showing like the order that they came in, and I think Kid and Apu came in like way earlier in like the time skip period, and they just got their ass whooped.
yeah, I agree with that.
And
Agreed.
then I think Urouge was like the last, like he is like it's like showing the development of the supernovas towards like where they are right now. Because we saw he was injured on Sky Island, so it was probably like a recent thing where
You can also look at other parts of the story where we've seen Kid in the New World. He's been with his entire crew the whole time.
Yeah.
When
So why
Kaido-
would this one
when
scenario
he was in
I'm
the
bringing up you
underground,
saying he was
when
not
he
with his
first
crew?
arrived.
My argument is that we don't know.
But
Yeah,
that's
but you
silly,
can say
though.
that
It's
for
like-
anything.
I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, but that's no, guys, I hate that argument because then what's the point of discussing anything?
well,
No,
he
wait.
does have a slight point in the fact that like we don't know like
You guys are automatically saying he was with his crew, right? But we don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
We know
saying
he
it's
was with his
possible
crew.
that he wasn't. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So put it like this: if he was not, it's a 1 out of 10 chance. He was not
Whoa,
with his crew.
okay, well,
Right,
but
he was with his crew.
let's look at it
Other
like
than that,
let's
no,
look at
because
it.
it's not really a 1 in 10 chance because there's like
No.
yes, it
other
is. You
shit-
know he's gonna be with his crew.
No,
the
because
majority of the time.
there's other shit to do in the New World other than like
Okay.
Bro,
Roll.
this-
Why is it
why
Shanks with his-
why would you go?
Why
to
isn't
Big
Shanks
Mom's
with his crew?
place?
Undercover?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you go?
Shanks
to
is a
Big
Yonko.
What does that mean?
He has Yonko stuff to do.
Nah,
Kid is not a
wow.
Yonko. Put it like this: Luffy's with his crew the majority of the time. Like he's not always. This separation stuff is something new or whatever. But like I'm saying though, like
Listen
it was
here
already
again.
said that Luffy has the biggest crew or something like that now with the fleets and everything. So I'm pretty sure if he goes to Big Mom with his whole fleet, with Law, with his crew, with Zoro, they're doing damage, and the first in command is gonna have to come, and Big Mom might even have to come.
Get off that because that's not going to go anywhere. The whole kid thing and how it's possible he didn't go with his crew. Why would he do that?
Kid is a very overconfident person. We've established that, right?
So you could say that, but you could say the same for Apu. But Apu was scared of a bloody pig in the New World.
Apu is not Kid though. Apu is not Kid.
All right.
Let's not do that.
Brago, you know when you said the Dofi versus Cracker thing, let me ask you something. How do you think that fight will start off? How do you think that fight will go? Dofi
such a
Dofi
bad
versus
argument.
Cracker.
I don't
Dofi
get
will
Yeah.
test him out with a
Brago.
clone first.
Okay, and then and who do you think is gonna win? Or like what do you think is gonna happen? Like who's gonna be winning the fight? Who's gonna start to win the fight, and who's gonna win the fight at the end?
Who's gonna start to win the fight?
And,
Yeah.
listen
Well, I would
listen
say
here
that-
again. Here's another point. Why wouldn't Killer advise Kid to not? Why would he like allow that?
I mean, it might have been like one of those things where it was like early on in the New World and they were just cocky about everything.
No, because Killer's a smart dude.
He is.
Yeah,
He would
but
advise him-
at the
he
end of the
would
day,
advise
he
him
can
not to do
advise him all he wants.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
But he managed to advise him
just
to
think
get
about
in an
all the-
alliance with the two people he hates the most.
Think about that's like saying okay.
But that's no.
Wait, 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 wait.
All right, Brago.
No,
like, wait, hold on, can I talk?
I'm asking you something.
My point
Hold
against
on.
that, though, hold on. My point against that is that he learned from that past moment where he probably didn't listen to Killer, and he got his ass whooped. So now
Also-
it's like, all right, maybe I
also-
should listen to Killer.
Also, think about Luffy's crew really
No.
quick. Where like whenever they go to islands and shit like that, they're all like, yeah, let's not go there. We don't need to go there. And Luffy's like, fuck it, let's just go. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
And how many times does Luffy go off by himself? How many times? Every arc, Luffy goes off by
Yeah,
himself.
in like the
Going
beginning of
off by yourself, he goes off by himself,
Like,
but he's
if-
still with
if
his
you-
crew though.
No,
They're
no.
still-
If you think about it though, like I'm like if we're assuming that Kid went there and he was just like overconfident and cocky as fuck, it might have been a moment like on Sabaody for Kid's crew to where he just got completely fucking wrecked and he
Yeah,
ended up.
but if you look at Sabaody, and you look when they first arrived in New World, they're a pretty close, tight knit group. And when they were at Marineford, also waiting outside, they're always together from what we've seen.
Yeah.
As even when Kaido arrived, they were all together. All of them were there.
What are you talking about, Kid?
Kid, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume he had his whole crew with him.
I find it 100%. I find it hard to believe that he would just go in on his own. Like, that's stupid.
It is stupid.
No, but I'm saying like I know what Brago's saying. Like there, like
I understand, but you could say that for anything. It's like you could say
Yeah, Brago.
no, but
that like
it's just like in the new world. Like we constantly see that it's like a big common thing that.
How do you know? How do you know that Killer didn't abandon the crew during time skip and go fight Big Mom on his own? It's like
no, I know,
you know?
I know, but it's just like
that's retarded.
Yeah, but it's the same argument that you're using, which you know. the
Yeah,
same-
like when you're
Wait,
saying
so-
that kid was by himself or whatever.
Wait. So you think this commander took on all the kids' crew and he still won?
Yeah.
yeah, it was probably
You
earlier.
gotta think,
No,
Kuma pretty much
no,
did the same
stop,
thing.
no, stop, listen. Maybe he didn't take on the whole crew, because remember, like now, we've got Brûlé there as well, maybe one of the daughters helped. You know, there's minions there to help.
Also, yeah, the minions, like the trees and shit, like those things might be like pretty powerful, but they're not really
You
like
don't know, you don't know if Tamago took on the rest of the crew. You don't know if Peckham's was there. You don't know.
Yeah. Plus, like,
that
the
is
trees
true,
don't
though.
trees aren't fighting.
That's our point. We don't know.
And then the other thing, we seen Kuma was able to take out Luffy's whole crew pretty much or whatever like that, and even Kizaru or whatever like that. So at that point in the story, if and like they said, Kid probably went there first, that one person could have took out the whole crew at that point or whatever like that. But it's like so Brago. So who's winning? Cracker or Kid? I mean Cracker or Dofi in the fight?
We already discussed this.
No, I just want to hear Brago's answer now.
I don't know.
I don't think that Cracker.
Brago's not giving an answer, but it's
No,
like
but from what we've seen,
I just said I don't know.
it comes down to
tell me
matchups.
something
Like,
about One Piece that you do know. Tell me something about One Piece that you do know, because it's like when you say the whole like Kid is by himself, it's like you can't just take a scenario and then just like make it the worst thing. Like, okay, he's probably by himself. You can't do that, because if you do that, like nothing makes any sense.
again,
No. You guys said Kid was probably his whole crew probably got wrecked. I was like, I don't know.
But he was with his. We know that
You just said you can't just assume the worst.
The reason I got so salty about that argument was because you tried to compare it to how Luffy's crew split up right now. You can't compare that. That's unbelievable.
No, I'm
No,
saying there's
but-
other things to do. It's
Alright,
just
so
like,
his argument is that like if you see all the crews that are in the New World, most of them are always split up doing different shit around the New World. And if Kid was
Brago.
in the New World, there's a good chance that his crew was split up doing different shit.
What?
Wait, so we've seen alright, so let's go back real quick. We've seen Shanks, right? Every time we've seen Shanks, we saw Shanks with Luffy. Was his crew there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we saw Shanks. Most times Shanks is with his crew, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wasn't he with his crew on the cover page?
That's one time. Like
That's one time, right?
He's a Yonko or whatever like that.
Alright.
He's not gonna be there. He's not gonna be
No,
there.
it's just that
all the
one time.
Yeah, but listen.
I was gonna say,
No, you can't use that, because I could equally go, how do you know he wasn't behind the camera, or like
Exactly.
the way it's drawn, you know? How do you know he's not like somewhere in
Why would
Exactly,
perspective?
Brago.
why
How do
would
you-
they show
how do you- how do you-
Sona
wait,
as
wait, wait.
supporting the Shanks?
How do you not know if it was Shanks that took the picture or something like that?
What?
What are we even talking about?
But I'm saying, all right, Brago, who's
So
winning?
Shanks took the killer- the picture?
Dofi? Look, who's winning? Dofi or Frankie? Who's winning in that fight?
Really?
Yeah, I want to know.
That's just a good question.
See,
You
it's like
can
okay, and you don't want to
also
answer. How come I can't get a question out of you? Like I can't get Dofi versus Cracker. Who would win from you? I want to know, who do you think would win? I seen what happened with Sanji versus
Wait.
Dofi, but who would win, Dofi or Frankie in a fight?
Wait. You dodge
I'm trying to
every
find that out.
question. You dodge every question with I don't know. Every question.
No, I don't. Just
say that.
stuff that like I really feel like I don't know. I'm trying to ask you, but hit like who would win, Dofi or Frankie?
That's a
Dofi.
rhetorical. That's a rhetorical question.
I need to bring this back to what you were saying.
No good question is not a.
No, listen. I need to bring it back to how you were saying that a lot of the crews in the New World are all split up. That's nonsense. If you look at Apu's crew, they've always been together. If you look at Hawkins' crew when they went to Brownbeard's Island, they were together. If you look at
but that was-
Urouge, if you look at Urouge after he was defeated by Commander, his whole crew is with him. If you look at Bonnie, well, hers got slaughtered. But if you look at like every other supernova, they're always with their crew. Like why would you split up in the New World?
We've seen little of the supernovas, right? We've seen like every time we see him.
No,
it's
but
just
listen,
like,
listen. Like, if we look at how
quick
small
going.
they
Okay, but I have points to counter your points. You're not.
Well, okay, let me do all my points, and then you can go hammer. Okay, like if we look at the crew, there's usually a navigator, a medic, all that nonsense, right?
Right.
Why are you splitting up? And where's your second ship coming from first? Why are you splitting up when obviously you know how are they going to navigate around and do all that nonsense in the new world?
Shit
Okay,
happens, bro.
What I have to say about that is that it depends when he went to Big Mom's Island during the time skip, because I'm assuming that their crews were more close knit during the earlier parts of it. But as soon as you start getting more into the New World operations, it's going to be harder and harder to keep your entire crew together, just because of all the shit that's going on.
I
Shit
just
happens.
can't believe that I can't believe that you would argue that though.
But we've seen with the Straw Hat, shit just happens.
No, but they're not split up because of stuff like as in unforeseen circumstances. They're split up out of will. They want to go
They
to two
have been
places.
split up because of that, though.
Why?
Kuma?
No. Look,
What?
that's not the
Shit
same.
happens.
That's
So
not
just
the
assuming
same.
shit just happens to the Straw Hats?
That's
That's
not
what-
the same. Use this kid like yes. Let's say he goes into New World with his crew, and he meets up with someone much stronger than him. Yeah.
Right.
Where are the rest of the crew going? Where's
So
their
they can't.
ship?
Wait, so they can't go different places to train?
Where's their navigator? You know, where is everything? Where's the log poses? There's so many facts. It doesn't make any sense.
You
You
know
just
what,
assume
though?
that they're just gonna.
If
Be
all of
together.
those supernova went to Big Mom's territory together, then what you're saying could be completely irrelevant, because they could have all like used each other's resources to make it there. Like we're debating
What?
as if we're debating, oh, why would they split up? How would he get there by himself? We're saying that as if they all went at completely separate times. If him, Apu, and Urouge all went to Big Mom's territory at the same time, it would make sense as to how they got there. They would have all shared resources. They would have been on each other's ships. They would have shared.
You're saying that all the supernovas were there at the same time?
No, I'm not saying that they were, but I'm saying that it could be a possibility.
But
You're
that
thinking
completely
as
defeats
if
the
it
other
wasn't.
argument. Because if they were all there at the same time, how on earth was one commander taken out and then the other commander took out all of them at once?
No, yeah, I don't think they were there at the same time. But at the same time, I agree with you. I think Kid's crew was there. I'm just saying, like, you can't act like it's so ridiculous that
It is
possible.
ridiculous. Look, like
That he's alone?
Not necessarily that he was alone, but that is.
That he wasn't with his crew at the time when he got wrecked?
Not even just his crew, just like his entire crew. Like a few people might have not been there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's far.
that's like one fodder guy. He wasn't with his entire crew, guys. I think.
No,
Yeah,
but
it
like
doesn't-
we've seen like there's Hack and then there's that other guy. I don't know. It's possible that it was just fucking him and Killer or him and.
Okay, so did Urouge defeat this guy by himself or with his crew?
He was with his crew. I don't see why you would even argue this. It's so outrageous.
It's not really that outrageous.
I don't.
It is
they're not together?
Why? What's Urouge doing? What's Urouge doing there on his own? And what's his crew doing?
Yeah, Urouge was with his crew in Sky Island, so it's like we know that they're with their crews. It's like to try to make one scenario where
The thing-
they're not with their crews is kind of silly.
It's like we've
The
seen
thing is,
like people in the New World without their crews. They're just wandering.
You guys say that you can't use I don't know as an excuse, but at the same time you can, because like we literally have no idea why they went there in the first place. Like there's a
Oh,
hundred.
but
why
let's
they
go into because we do know what their characters act like, their attitudes, their goals, right? Or on the most part. Why would Urouge go there on his own? What's he got to gain from that?
No, but that's the thing. We literally have no idea.
But what? No, but
They
why?
have crews
why
for
would
a reason.
Why would he go on his own? Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how are you going to take down 3 commanders and the Yonko? What's the goal? What is your purpose?
He was really cocky.
Oh my god! Trolling me so bad.
Brago. So
Yeah.
who's winning, Killer or Dofi? Who do you think will win that fight?
Why you keep asking me like strength?
Nah, 'cause I want to know. I'm trying to get some power scaling info. Like,
I
winning that fight, like,
thought up an
Kid,
example.
kid,
I thought up an example to help you win your argument when it first started. If you look at Trafalgar Law's crew, he was on Punk Hazard on his own, and his crew were off on the zone. That's the perfect example you could have brought up.
Wait, go ahead.
But you have to remember that Law
That's no, no, no.
became
The thing is,
warlord,
it's like
and he was doing
what I'm
haphazard
saying is,
nonsense.
shit happens. We just assuming like, oh, shit just happens to the Straw Hats, but everybody's crew, they're tight knit and they stay together all the time.
Yeah, man, they're buddies.
Okay, okay, okay.
Oh, Brago.
Yeah.
Capone versus Dofi. Who's gonna-
Wait. So if
Oh,
Luffy
man.
beats Cracker, right? That automatically puts Doflamingo over Cracker, right?
Yes.
Because it took more than Luffy to
Yes.
beat
I wouldn't
Doflamingo.
say that necessarily. It
I would
depends
say
on.
Yeah, I
so.
wouldn't say that either.
But the thing is, if Luffy one shot Cracker, right?
Yeah.
We say Dofi was blocking when Luffy hit him, right?
Mhm.
With the first punch. Everything else was straight shots. While Dofi was recovering from several attacks from Luffy and Law before, right?
Mhm.
How does that not put Dofi over Cracker?
Well, okay, I'll say this: is if the fight is close and Luffy barely beats him, I would say it's possible that Cracker is stronger than Dofi, just because of the fact that Luffy probably got stronger over the 3 weeks that he's
True.
been
That's true.
after he fought Dofi.
That's true.
But if he one-shots him, there's no way that if Luffy fought Doflamingo again, he would just one-shot him with a regular Kong gun.
True. Well, the thing with Cracker though is like he does have the strongest armament, so that means that it is stronger than Dofi. So that's one thing he has going for him if him and Dofi was to ever fight. I feel like that punch Luffy gave Cracker though, I feel like it was a friendship power up punch to an extent because it's like he talked bad about Sanji and Luffy was just like, yo, what you said? Bong, and just like he went extra. Like I feel like if Cracker wouldn't have had torn in Luffy so much, Luffy probably would have lost sooner. But it's like that got on Luffy's nerve and he just like did some haymaker punch or whatever like that. So it's that to take into account too.
Assuming that Cracker's like fresh, like he hasn't been in a fight before this, like he's straight. He's
I
got
think
all of his
I think he's
energy.
been good. Like,
Okay.
Hold on, Brago. We don't know. Cracker could have had just fought Shanks. That's probably why we didn't see Shanks. He probably just could have had the fight.
Where
Yo,
are
let's
we
not
talking
do that,
about?
yo.
What are we talking
No,
about?
could've
but I'm
just
just trying to
fought
say though, it's like, what if
no,
Cracker
no,
just
no.
fought
So me
Shanks?
saying that that kid couldn't have been with his crew is outrageous. But you saying that Cracker could have just fought Shanks. So does that mean he beat Shanks?
We don't know. We haven't seen Shanks. It's like, I'm joking around, but it's like both
Please,
things are outrageous.
that's
You saying that is outrageous. Me
Okay.
saying this is outrageous. It's like so we can't really be doing that because it's like nothing will ever make any sense. Even though
so
that could happen, I'm pretty sure he wasn't fighting Shanks.
you say it could happen? So you
Yeah,
say
maybe.
he could have been fighting
Shanks wasn't with the crew. Yeah.
So Cracker could have been fighting
Remember,
Shanks.
look, this guy has 1,000 arms, and Shanks only has one arm. So Shanks was probably like, "Oh snap!" Like having one arm is like
So-
big of disadvantage than I
So
thought.
what you guys think what type of devil fruit do you guys think he has?
Who Shanks?
No.
Cracker?
Cracker.
Probably some type of split fruit or something. I don't know exactly what
It's
it
like a
is.
Yeah.
centipede.
Yeah, I was just about to say
I like
that.
But he replicated his swords as well. Like he
True.
was replicating items like his shields as well. Like
But I thought that was something more of like I thought that was more for like with the sword itself in particular.
Yeah.
his shield as well was also replicating.
Yeah,
like,
that's
four
that's
shields.
another thing. If we have a character that has one of the most like dangerous swords in the story or whatever he said, I can't
Yeah.
imagine him just getting shit on like that. This dude is should be the real deal.
He
Like,
should beat Luffy. He should.
we have to see.
Yeah.
Because if Luffy beats him, it's like, yo.
I don't wanna come to
Nah,
any.
Luffy's not gonna beat him, bro. Like
I don't
someone
want
has
to
to step in. Like after Luffy Gear 4 gives out, like someone has to step in.
Yeah.
Or
I
he's
think
gonna
that's
get locked up.
Yeah,
But who's gonna
exactly.
step in though?
Oh, but here's the thing, Jinbei
That's the thing. Yeah,
Jinbei
Jinbei
could step in.
not even Jinbei. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be that big dude.
A Pound?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't
All the
Pound
monsters
like
that
strong
could-
too?
Yeah.
he should be strong. He should be.
I mean, because we have to think about how he's gonna come into the story, and it would be the best thing to.
Yeah.
It would be the best thing to assume that he's gonna defend Luffy while he's regenerating his hockey.
So if we go on this whole adventure and Pound is with the Straw Hats the whole time, Pound for Straw Hat?
Oh god,
No.
heaven forbid, man.
I'm feeling like there's gonna be like a Pound sacrifice or some shit like that.
I think
Well, nah.
there's gonna be some. I think there's gonna be some sort of plot going with him. Like you're gonna have to get Big Mum and him back together or something nonsense like that.
That would be
See,
funny.
but Jinbei, like,
Oh, what?
I don't know with Jinbei, yo. I think Jinbei could be
What I-
fucked up right now.
He
What I
might be
wanted to
like
say about
beat up or something.
um
What were you saying?
well, what I wanted to say about the Luffy versus Cracker thing is I was saying before that Luffy fought good against Fujitoro, Sabo fought good against Fujitoro, even Zoro did, and I felt like they're like on Admiral level or they're close to that, even though we don't say that anymore. So if Luffy was to beat Cracker, and if that was true that he is on like that A minus level or whatever the case is,
Yeah.
or A level, then it's not far fetched that he wins. He can be on that level. And he can be Cracker. Remember, Fuji said when Luffy said something to Fuji, and Fuji was like, I'm not gonna run anymore. Fuji was like, you're strong enough to say that, when he was blocking Luffy punches and stuff like that.
At the end of the day, like the commanders are there so that not necessarily that they can beat admirals, but that they can like fend them off at least for a little bit. Like Cracker should be able to fight an admiral and not get one shot.
Cracker?
True.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Cracker
definitely.
if Cracker fought an admiral, I would say he should be able to win at least like.
I feel like if you're a commander on a Yonko's crew, you should be able to at least hold off an admiral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're like top 3 in crew.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like I feel like Luffy doing that like one shot in Cracker would be ridiculous.
Nah, not happening.
Unless they're like, unless for some reason they say like, oh, those aren't even our top executives or something like that. After.
If that's the case, then okay. Then it's like you have the
that's-
three commanders, then 3 people above them.
Yeah, but
Nah,
at the
they're
same,
not gonna do that.
That would be
at the same-
crazy, but
yeah, at the same time, like there's like almost no way because it's possible. But,
it's
like,
possible because
but, like, what does that say about Whitebeard's crew?
Yeah,
where,
exactly.
Like,
Yo, in the chat, plus Ultra, you need to stop trolling, please.
Keep saying I don't know.
Yeah.
Lies.
Oh yeah, what I want to say, what it seemed like too, because Brule seems like those other commanders that Whitebeard had, but Cracker seems like one of the top 4 or whatever like that. So like it's that. So like I don't think it's stronger people. I don't think it's stronger people than them. But the thing with Fujitora is that people assume he wasn't trying. Like Luffy got him mad and stuff like that. Like I don't think he wasn't trying or whatever like that. And what I want to bring up too is that
I don't think he was trying, bro.
after that fight, check this out. After that fight, like y'all bring up that Sabo was breathing heavy after fighting Fujitora. Look how heavy Fuji was breathing after that fight with Luffy. He was ODing like way more than Sabo was. Like Luffy had Fuji worn out. Or whatever. It's just that for some reason with the admirals, y'all think that they're never trying or whatever like that.
Are we saying that?
And what would be the point? And what would be the point in Luffy tussling with Fuji?
Ty, listen real quick. Real quick, right?
Right,
We just talked about Luffy versus Luffy, right? And Luffy versus Cracker, right? And Luffy didn't do shit to Cracker with his base forms, right?
Yeah.
But he made Fuji struggle. with his base forms.
Remember, I've been saying this for the longest. Y'all overestimate the admirals. I think the admirals
okay.
it's like holy gods in the story
My
that they can't be
bad.
touched and stuff like that by only another admiral or by a Yonko.
So you think Cracker's
Remember, like,
Cracker's
if
stronger
Marco
than
was
him?
getting the better of Kizaru and if
Oh no!
Goku was holding his own against Aokiji, maybe Cracker could, and we seen how Beast Jack was, maybe Cracker could take out Fujitora on his own or whatever like that. But Luffy definitely. So, but here's the thing though, like it's like everybody's getting upset or whatever, maybe they are, but
No,
it's like
we're
what
not
you got to
upset,
think
bro.
about is
Come
that
on.
if somebody put a death threat in the comments. So
Bro,
like
that's
everybody's
what
upset and stuff like that. But if we seen Fuji, I'm not making this up. Like Fuji was really like being like out of breath after fighting with
somebody
Luffy.
just
So it's
said,
like
we all know it's coming.
So you know, like if Fuji was out of breath fighting Luffy, and Luffy didn't even go gear 3rd, you could imagine what would have happened if Luffy would have went gear 3rd. Then you know, Cracker being all up on Luffy, he probably is stronger than Fuji since Luffy could actually land hits on.
Ty, stop. You're saying right that gear 3rd Luffy is enough to deal with an admiral, or at least
No,
tussle
listen,
with.
I'm not saying that it's enough to defeat an admiral, but it's enough to make an admiral. Exactly, yeah.
But
Meanwhile, Cracker was falling up on Luffy like, you ain't getting no room, Luffy. You ain't doing nothing. He was
So why do you think Fujitora couldn't do that?
Because obviously he couldn't. If he could have did that, he would have did that. Or whatever like that. It's like
Someone brought up a good point.
Every time with an admiral, it's always the argument that they're not trying. They're not trying. They're not trying.
They're always giving the impression that they're not trying. Like what?
That's their personality. That's not.
Someone brought up in the chat that he was also during that fight. He was holding up an island's worth of trash and buildings
Exactly.
in the air.
Exactly.
Not even
All right,
that.
but
no,
it's not that he wasn't. If he was holding up all the trash on the island at the same time while fighting Luffy, I mean then that's different. But he did that.
He was
already.
doing
not
that.
I can give you proof that he wasn't trying. He let him get away.
Yeah, he let him get away because he likes Luffy, but he was trying or whatever.
Yeah,
Remember,
okay, but
it took him.
He wasn't trying to kill him, bro.
It took him to the very
Just
end
drop
to like.
rubble on Luffy. What is Luffy doing against that rubble?
Yeah,
At that point,
exactly.
he was injured.
Remember, Fuji
He couldn't go
was
get
mad.
him.
He was like,
He was still hurt.
Fuji did, I forget what was the name of the move, but Fuji did some type of move, and he was like, yo, if you're trying to get me mad, you succeeded or whatever like that. He was like, Luffy got Fuji mad or whatever like that. And Fuji, like, yeah, he didn't want to capture him, but, you know, he was trying or whatever. It's like, so who does not try but sweats sweats and like, you know, is breathing heavy when you're not trying. I thought when you don't try, you don't try.
But Tom, you're saying that
Going by your logic, like you're saying that Cracker and Doflamingo
is stronger than
are
Fuji.
better against Luffy than Fujitora is.
I don't know about Dofi or whatever like that, but well, okay, in that aspect, no, listen, let me finish. Don't be so quick to cut me off. In that aspect of it, since Luffy had to go gear 4th for both of them, then yes, or whatever like that, yeah, or whatever like that. Remember, Dofi, this is the same Dofi though, or whatever like that. Like this is the same Dofi that just broke out of Aokiji's ice. The same Aokiji that tied with Akainu, or not he didn't tie with him, but the same the same Aokiji that did good against Akainu for 10 days.
Instead of this dumbass argument, can you like at least show me a panel where Fujitora was sweating or whatever? Because I don't even remember that happening.
It was the anime, bro. They over-exaggerated.
The anime had Fuji sweating.
No.
In the manga, it was nothing, bro.
Yeah, because I'm reading through it right now, and like all that happened was Fuji left at Luffy, threw him into a wall, and then they ran away.
All right, but the same thing, that part in the anime is what they use when they say, oh, because like I said that Sabo versus Fuji was a tie, but then they say no. You know, when you look at the anime, Sabo's breathing more heavier, so it wasn't a tie. Sabo would have lost. So why can't we use the same argument that Fuji was breathing heavier or whatever like that?
That's a good. The other stream. I said this to you.
It's some type of biasness when it comes to the admirals or whatever like that they're always not trying.
Stop.
Hold on.
You can't use that because I told you the other stream. You can't say they say this, they say that. We in this stream are not they.
No, all right, but at the same time, not in a disrespectful way. A lot of people in this stream it's a bias with the admirals, so it's like they're not trying.
You think we hype up the admirals?
A lot, yeah. The admirals and Dofi.
Wait, okay. So how strong? The admirals and Doflamingo?
Yeah.
Okay. How strong do you think?
Because remember, I feel like Marco. I feel like if no distractions, Marco's beating Kizaru. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
no
the admirals.
Jozu's probably beating Aokiji or whatever.
No.
We debunked that ages ago, bro.
No, I'm saying it was only so put it like this. Why if they could just beat them in a fair 1v1, why let them get distracted and then Marco even had to get cuffs put on them or whatever like that? On top of that, it's like, check this out. If Marco is as powerful as like Jack is or whatever the case is, he would be a problem. So it's like, yo, to make him not a problem, you're gonna get him off guard. To make him not a problem, we're gonna put cuffs on him. You know what I mean? So that way we could just get to Whitebeard and he's not over here like being a beast or whatever like that. Like we got to take that stuff into account. It's like all of these things that's hinting at, you know, maybe they're not. It's stuff that's hinting at maybe the admirals is not as strong as what we think anymore or whatever like that. And it's stuff that's hinting that, you know, these commanders are very strong and it's like we're paying them no mind because it's some type of biasness thing. And remember,
I understand where you're going with it.
Smoker was very strong before people had hockey. Now that people have got hockey, Smoker's getting, you know, he's getting destroyed. I'm not saying that the admirals is getting destroyed, but compare Luffy versus Fuji to Luffy versus Aokiji. It's a big difference in that fight, in those fights, whatever like that. He actually put in work against Fuji,
Like,
but people turn a blind eye to it.
Wait. When has he fought Aokiji post time skip?
Remember Aokiji froze him?
That's
no, it was pre-time skip. Pre-time skip.
Yeah. That was pre-time skip, but he's
not doing. That's not. It's the same. The fight isn't going the same way if he fights Aokiji again, right? That's not happening. He's gonna do better. But it's like
no, but
you're saying
but
that.
Still, I'm saying gauging his first fight with the Admiral to his recent fight in the Admiral. You can say he's like on that Admiral level now.
Can we stop talking about this? I'm getting
look what his punch did to Cracker.
No, I don't think you can do that though. That's pre-time skip. That's a totally different ball game.
remember, I'm not saying that he could beat Fuji, but I'm saying that he can like he's in that range when it comes to power or whatever like that. Whether
So
it's
no,
like an A
listen.
minus.
So you're saying that Cracker could defeat Fuji in Luffy's place on Dressrosa.
Can crack let's see, can Cracker if all right, put it like this, maybe he can, and if he can't though, he's definitely doing better than what Luffy and Sabo did probably.
Wait, real quick. Was that a yes or no?
Let me see. That's a matter of fact. That's a yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Because
So
check
that's
this out though. With Whitebeard, Ace was holding off. Ace was able to hold off Aokiji. Marco was able to hold off Kizaru, and Jozu was able to hold off Aokiji too. So that's 3 people or whatever like that. That was so.
So
if
why can't
Crack
Fuji
is
do
third,
that?
no, I'm saying if Crack is third, then that means that Cracker should be able to hold off Admiral too.
Okay, guys. We're making the same mistake as last time. Let's not do that. Let's not do that again. We're kind of getting caught up in.
Alright, yeah. Let's talk about something else.
Ty's opinions versus ours.
I was going to bring up on Wano, right? Do we think that Zoro's going to even make it to the Shogun?
No. He's going to get defeated by someone really.
He might get exposed by someone.
Yeah, exposed early, I think.
Because I think he's going to make a comeback later on in the arc, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He might get jumped on again because he has the treasure, the sword that he got from what's the name of that guy?
Ryuma.
Yeah, that's like a national treasure to Wano Kuni, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I think is going to happen though is like he's going to lose to someone really early and realize that he has. This is what he's going to have to do to grow, and maybe he gets a power up that we see comparable to Gear 4.
Some type of like elemental thing like that.
Something because I believe he even said to Kinemon, I want to spar with you sometime. I think Kinemon is really skilled as well. Me and Theory are talking about this.
Yeah.
A lot of people sleep on Kinemon, but I think he's with the sword.
Yeah.
Very skilled.
I'm telling you right now, if we have fucking Zoro and Killer against the Shogun, I'll just shit my pants.
I think this is how it's going to go down. I think that if we're saying right that Luffy's going to have trouble with like the first in command to a Yonko, right? And Kaido's got 3 calamities, and he's allied with the Shogun dude who took out Momo's dad. Why like Zoro can't 1v1 this guy? So I think that it's going to be him, Kinemon, Kanjuro, Raizo, and maybe Killer, depending if he's there or not.
But the thing is,
up against the Shogun.
With the Shogun.
Yeah, man. Depending on what fruit he's got.
I feel like Zoro has to get that one-on-one with the Shogun because if he can't do that, then he can't be the best swordsman in the world.
It might. No. Listen, it might end up as a 1v1 like Doflamingo versus Luffy, but it's not going to begin as one.
But the thing is, though, at what point does Luffy and the Straw Hats start 1v1ing these top tiers? It's like
soon. I feel like because
do you think would that be satisfying? Would that be satisfying if Luffy, Law, and Kid took out Kaido?
No.
If Zoro and 2 other people took out the Shogun, that would be like, come on, like.
But it would be hype for the Shogun because we don't know much about him.
You said that? Say that again.
It'd be hype for the Shogun because we don't much. No, I said like when I said no to Kid, Law, and Luffy beating Kaido, I meant it'd be ridiculous because I think you need more people.
What?
Yeah, I think you're gonna need Hawkins. I think you're gonna need Apu.
But I'm saying, like, we use all these people. Would it be satisfying?
For Kaido's hype.
For Kaido, but for the Shogun, no, because I feel like if Zoro needs 2 other people to help him beat the Shogun, who's gonna help him when he fights Mihawk? It's like he needs that development or whatever.
But I'm saying like if Kaido is this far and away stronger than all the other Yonko, and if Luffy needs like 5 more people
I think you need multiple people for each Yonko at the state they're all at right now. There's no way like any of them are getting a 1v1 against each other.
I feel like they should develop more before they have these 1v1s versus the Yonkos.
I don't think they're going to get one until like late in the game.
I think it's 1v1 versus the Admirals endgame.
Yes, yeah.
I don't think we're going to have any 1v1 versus a Yonko right now.
I can see that. I can see that.
That'd be so whack.
You know what? What do you guys think about their progression? Because like I think most of us are in agreement that they're not ready for this. So how do you think they are going to get ready for it? Like I don't see any time skip anytime soon.
Well, like
that theory about Scott
as the
training
story,
Luffy, but I don't know about
as
everyone else.
Wait,
yeah, as the
hold on.
story progresses, right, they get stronger. Like if you compare Luffy from episode 1 to like 300, he got mad stronger, and that was like only a couple of what was that couple of months.
Yeah.
Like he developed like gear second and third. So like in the new world, like give like them like a couple of months, I think they'll
Yeah,
be all right.
but right now we don't have a couple of months because Luffy's in that situation now.
Yeah,
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 two
It's
seconds, bro.
breathing down his neck.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to remember because everyone forgets about the outside players. There are so many players in these bigger arcs that it's not just the Straw Hats and Law's crew there. There's going to be Marco's crew. There's going to be the Minks. There might even be Weeble. There's going to be so many people.
yeah. Straw Hat, Grand Fleet, and all that.
Well, okay,
Marco doesn't have a crew.
how do we feel after Dofi got defeated?
Hmm?
Wasn't it
What
like
do
a
you
lot
mean
of
by that?
questions like, damn, I don't know how strong Luffy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
There's a lot of doubts. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's like if Luffy, Law, and Kid, let's say just those three, right? They get to a level where those three can take Kaido out. Then it's like, oh shit, well, Luffy put in the most work. Luffy should be the next Yonko. Well, Kid took off his arm. Kid should be the next Yonko. Well, Law had the last hit. Law says like, I feel like we need a 1v1 to definitively say Luffy should be a Yonko at this point.
But you know, I kind of like this though, because the one thing I hated about a lot of other anime and manga is the fact that you always knew where the main character was at. The thing that I like about One Piece is that it's like it's not
Yeah, you don't
about
know. Yeah.
it's not about Luffy. It's about the world and
Yeah.
how Luffy interacts within that world. So the fact that the Yonko have been hyped up all this time and then we get here and then they're like they seem like gods right now. Like doesn't seem like anything can happen to them right now. That's what I like about One Piece is the fact that we don't know, and there's gonna have to be something other than the main character getting some OP power up or any team bullshit that will actually make it through this.
What did Brago say a minute ago? Because I didn't hear it.
You said you were in the
That like if that it might be a question. Who should be the next Yonko if all three of them take down Kaido?
Oh yeah, you brought that up with me.
But I was just about to say that.
I think that would bring about the arc where they fight amongst each other. To be honest.
I was just
So
about
is
to
that
say
like-
though that like
But then even if whoever wins, they're still on Yonko level. They still
Right.
They still can't compete.
Right.
I feel like that wouldn't happen though. Like if they all was to fight Kaido, right? Luffy would probably end up being a Yonko because
But Luffy would say he wouldn't want it. Luffy would be like, I don't want to be a Yonko.
I don't think Luffy would say that. You know,
here's what
it's
I
not
was
Pirate
saying
King,
last
but it's
time.
like the next best thing.
Here's what I brought up with you before. Like you said, oh, who would take the spot? I don't think you're even kicking Kaido or Big Mom off their spot. Like unless you're killing them, they're not leaving that spot. Like if you just defeat them and let them live, they're gonna take it right back.
Yeah,
Oh no, that's not true. That's
still
not
with
true
the name.
because every villain that Luffy beats in every arc, they pretty much stop doing whatever they're doing. Like Dofi's not gonna be controlling Dressrosa no more. Neither was Crocodile. Hardy Jones is not running around doing that pretty much ends it once Luffy beats
Yeah,
him.
but Dofi and
pretty sure
Crocodile
Luffy
both got
beats
arrested.
somebody.
All those people get locked up.
No, but true. But I'm pretty sure like if Luffy beats, why wouldn't an admiral or somebody come and lock that Yonko up or whatever? I'm pretty sure once
What are they
Luffy beats
doing
a
there?
Yonko.
What are they doing now without any harassment?
No, I'm saying like I put it like this: a marine person almost always goes to every island and follows them. So I'm
What are
pretty
they
sure somebody's gonna be on that island.
No. What are they doing in a Yonko's territory without being hassled?
No, but put it like this: stuff will be going on. Obviously, like maybe that'll be the arc where like Akainu's like, you know what? Let me go follow the Straw Hats here, whatever. And Akainu's there, whatever, like that. And then at the end, they take the Yonko away. Like I'm pretty sure that they're gonna. Too many people want their spot for them to like get beat, but not lose their spot or whatever like that. And I feel like Luffy would be Yonko just because like you see how even though Law and Luffy beat Dofi, everybody went to join Luffy under Luffy with the fleets. Nobody was like, Law, let's join Law's crew or let's go under Law. Everybody just went to Luffy. They just gravitated towards
Luffy had the last hit.
So I feel like in a fight with Kaido though, even whatever happens, that they're just gonna gravitate towards Luffy.
That would be
because Luffy
whack
has
as
that thing
hell.
about him.
That would be so whack. That would be so
But
whack.
you know that's what's gonna happen though.
If Kid and Law and those guys are like, let's just work on the Luffy. What? Hell
No, not Kid
Oh,
and not Kid and Law, but I'm talking about Kid might feel like he should be Yonko. Maybe Law will feel like he should be Yonko. But the
Even
rest of the
Paul and
world, the rest
Hawkins
of the,
and
the
those
rest of the,
guys.
the rest of the, no, but I'm saying the rest of the world, everybody else are gonna be like, they're gonna treat Luffy like he's a Yonko, and it's gonna end up like Luffy's gonna be the Yonko. He's gonna be like, okay, I don't care, like whatever. Y'all say I'm a Yonko, I'm a Yonko. I don't
But that's
really
the
care.
thing,
But
though.
Luffy's gonna get it.
That's the thing where with the whole Dofi thing, Luffy gets the credit for it, right? But Law put in work, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Law did, but for some reason, everybody's like, Luffy, and they all gravitated towards Luffy. But at the same time,
Someone just asked this question though. They were saying, do you think Roger was teaming up, tag teaming dudes?
Yeah.
Nah.
Maybe, yeah, possibly.
He was buddies with Whitebeard from what we know about from Inarashi and Nekomamushi.
But I think at some point he broke away.
Of course.
Right? He broke away from
Agreed.
the pack. Where it's like people recognize him as, okay, this guy is special. Right? So maybe it's the fight versus Kaido's the 3-on-1 and Luffy shows that he's the strongest there.
Because I said this to you before that like you guys don't believe that Law's gonna ditch the Straw Hats one day.
Oh, hell yeah, he's ditching the Straw Hats.
Because I brought it up before and you didn't agree. I said that.
I didn't?
Yeah, you didn't. And I said that Law's ultimate goal is to become Pirate King. And
well, I definitely didn't say that because I feel like Law. I always say that Law mentioned his prestige as a pirate when he's on Dressrosa. So yeah, it's like Law is not gonna. I don't even think he should be with the Straw Hats right now. I feel like he should have went his own way already.
But what's he gonna do? What's his inspiration?
What's his inspiration? He should now want to become Pirate King.
What's his goal?
He should now want to become Pirate King.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but when I brought that up,
with Luffy.
When I brought that up, yeah, that's what I said. That is what I'm saying. The reason he would break away is because of that goal.
I think so. I think he should. I don't think he should be with Luffy right now. I'm not. I think Law's cool, but I'm not liking how they're basically making it look like Law is beneath Luffy, like because he's working under him. It seems like. I mean,
at the same time,
it's still an alliance.
You gotta remember, Brago. They still gave both of them equal
all
bounties.
the credit for defeating Doflamingo. Luffy did.
No, but Brago, they gave both of them equal bounties though.
So, they did.
The government knows.
They did, but
it's just the people though. You know how fans are gonna act.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Bartholomew and and stuff like that. They're gonna like, gravitate towards Luffy. Even Mihawk said that. But I feel like Law is not gonna betray Luffy because Law said it like he only.
Betray.
But Law said it to me. I got from the story that Law said that he told his crew he thought he would never meet them again. Law was ready to like die trying to get Dofi killed or whatever like that. So I feel like Luffy took it further to where like remember the goal part of why Dofi was so hard to beat was it was never to beat Dofi. It was just to destroy the factory and make Kaido kill Dofi.
Because Law knew he couldn't do it by himself.
Well, even with Luffy help, they was just supposed to destroy the factory, make Kaido kill Dofi.
Yeah, he's strategic.
But things shifted, and they ended up having to fight Dofi.
Right, Law's strategic. He's like, let me do this so Kaido can take him out. But
but it didn't work out.
If Law wasn't there, Luffy wouldn't be able to take out Doflamingo.
No, but put it like this: since things didn't work out, and since with Luffy helped, they ended up beating Dofi. It's like, wow, I got my revenge. Dofi's defeated. He's locked up. I was able to get my revenge without losing my life. I owe Luffy this favor or whatever like that. So I don't think he's gonna betray Luffy or whatever like that.
I don't think he's gonna betray him, but I don't think he's gonna work under him the whole time.
He's gonna leave.
Until put it like this, Law even said when Luffy with the whole Kaido thing, Law said he said I don't want to fight Kaido, but Law said that we have no choice. Kaido's after us now. You know what I mean? So until things change to where like Kaido's not a direct threat anymore, I can see Law teaming up with Luffy or whatever like that. And after that, I don't think he's just gonna turn back into a grimy pirate and backstab him or whatever like that. I think he's happy
not
that
backstabbing, but he's not gonna be with them the rest of the way.
I think Law is gonna help Luffy with Kaido, and then after that,
he's out.
Go their separate ways, but they're not gonna be enemies again. It's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like a Mihawk.
I think right. I agree. The Mihawk Shanks thing. I agree with that. But I don't think it's like it's respect there, where it's like he's not gonna betray him, but he's not gonna be working under.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
Because that would be retarded.
It's gonna be, but I do think we will see Law at the end of the series in some type of thing, unless he dies.
Yeah, that whole
that ageless surgery thing.
Yeah, that surgery thing.
Yeah,
that was mentioned for a reason, I think. But
true.
Law at this point, like you kill a character like Law, I don't know.
He's
man.
like my
There's been a
favorite character.
lot of death flags for him.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
I
like
thought he was gonna
literally.
die in Dressrosa. Like right when we saw the flashback and shit, I was like, oh no, because that's
Yeah, me
when
too. I thought Law was gonna die
yeah,
too.
because he got shot up by Doflamingo. I was like, how do you survive that? I was like,
Law, what's his name is hacks. His stamina is hacks like crazy.
he did, but I feel like it was shortening his lifespan though.
Yeah, it is. It does.
But
Yeah,
can
because
he live forever with his fruit? Or can he?
if I don't think he can use a surgery on himself.
Yeah, you can only use it on someone
Or
else.
someone else,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
No,
it
but
wouldn't
here's the thing. Didn't they use it on him though to help him?
No, no,
'Cause
he
he
used
was
the
sick.
fruit
That's what I'm saying. I think.
not the ageless surgery on Law.
Oh, okay.
A surgery to heal him
Because
from
they make it sound like he lost his life trying to save Law, and like the only way he was able to do it was by giving Law immortality or whatever like that in the process.
Oh, I think he used it to like cure the
Cure the
white lead
the
disease
white
he
lead,
had.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So
yeah, that
possibly
thing.
because Law fruit is like a doctor's kind of fruit, like a surgeon type fruit, whatever.
But there's something I found interesting. You know when like Doflamingo was talking to Law about like the age, he was saying if he had Law's devil fruit in Marijois, he could have took the national treasure.
Yeah, that's the bit that confuses me. He
Yeah.
says he could have
Well,
held
the
the. He
thing-
says he could have held the reins of the world.
Yeah.
Well, with Law's fruit, right? And when you're in Law's room, he controls everything. And a lot of times, Law has like, I feel like if someone like Dofi had Law's fruit, I think it would be crazy.
No, but no.
I thought
but that's
I
but
thought
that's
Dofi
impossible.
Dofi said it like if Law was to do the immortality.
Yeah,
thing on him.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
right. 'Cause
Maybe because he knows where it
it's
is.
impossible for Dofi to get
Yeah,
Law's
maybe he
fruit.
knows where
He
it
would
is.
die.
He has inside information.
Yeah, it probably
No,
does.
no, but
I don't think
no.
Dofi means that he would rather have Law fruit instead of his fruit. I think he just wants he just wants Law to do the
That's
surgery
exactly-
on him so he can
That's
be immortal.
exactly right. The reason he wanted Corazon, like the whole thing in the Corazon flashback, was that Corazon was supposed to eat Law's fruit,
Yeah.
and then because they were like loyal to each other, Corazon was supposed to sacrifice himself by using the
Yeah.
surgery on Dofi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doflamingo's a selfish motherfucker. Your brother to sacrifice himself.
Yeah, and then obviously it didn't go to plan. So
But I wonder who was it used on before.
Kaido.
It said some like doctor or something like that.
yeah, that old lady on Drum
Some
Island.
famous.
Kureha?
Yeah, she's like
Uh,
she's 132, dude.
maybe she just eats all her vegetables, dude. What are you talking about? Maybe that's the case. But I mean, who
Maybe,
knows?
maybe.
But
She drinks a lot.
predictions for next chapter, guys.
Luffy's
Cracker's
gonna
getting
take
back
that
up,
out.
kicking Luffy's ass.
Cracker better get back up. If he doesn't get back up, I'm pissed
Nah,
because
he's
I made a
definitely
whole video
back.
on it.
Cracker hockey's up and fucking.
Like he's gonna have like 1,000 arms next chapter, yo.
Do we see that Shanks cover page next chapter?
Yeah, I think so.
Hopefully.
I think we got to see that.
I also
shit.
think that Cracker hockey's up and just like not really Rex Luffy, but really shows him like.
You know, I hope they don't
Yeah.
troll by showing like Ben Beckman, and then we see like Shanks's hand holding the newspaper.
What would you do? What would you do if it was like it got the newspaper went to Marco and then Shanks just sat there with it?
If it's Marco and Shanks,
Yeah, that'd be
That
crazy.
would actually be
hype, bro.
sick. That would get me so hype.
I
Yeah.
don't think they would reveal something like that on a cover page, but that would be dope.
that would be
I
sick.
don't think Marco is with Shanks though. Like I
Probably
feel like Marco is somewhere like down or something like that. Like Marco, what's his name said he might know where he might be. So like I feel like Marco was probably like somewhere like depressed or something like that or whatever. And they gotta talk him and get him back into the game or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think so.
I
Because
mean,
he's probably not with like Vista and Joza and the rest. He's probably like
Yeah.
split. They're probably like, all split up.
Yeah, they all disbanded. There's no more white belt
Yeah.
pirates. They was like, Marco, you was we knew better. You should have been disbanded. They all laughed. Like Marco the Phoenix. Huh.
Do you know what kind of irritates me though is the fact that we've got a whole nother set of off-screen fights that have happened that we're probably not gonna see. Like this whole.
they say Oda is planning on releasing those as movies when he retires.
Oh really? Okay.
Nah, they
That's
didn't.
alright.
I just made it up.
Oh man.
That
I
would be
love
sick though.
actually.
That would be
Yeah,
sick.
that
if
That would be amazing. Yeah.
if
Like
it
I
was-
want to see Aokiji versus
Oh my
Akainu.
god. if he releases them
Yeah.
as movies, what?
Like A1
That'd
quality.
be sick.
Yo,
A1
exactly.
yeah, we see Ace versus Jinbei. We see
Kairi
the
versus
Payback War.
Shiki versus
That
Sengoku.
could happen since we get like those remakes or whatever like that,
Like the what is
like the
it?
Marine Corps thing.
Yeah, because we got the Sabo remake, his special.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We got that as well. It's talking about a movie in theaters, yeah. We get that for all the off-screen fights.
Well, what would you do if like Marco had some nonsense power as well, where like he can sacrifice his life and give you like regeneration or something stupid?
Well, what if Marco is
If
immortal?
anything, Marco would be able to come back from the dead. Yeah,
Yo,
because
Marco
he's the Phoenix, innit?
What if he's
You know
Yeah.
what I
immortal?
just thought about?
What if he can't die? Like literally can't die.
No, yo, Brago, I just thought about something. Like what I just thought about. All right, they said like, hey, you know, just because you get Marco, then your chances of beating Kaido is still slim or whatever like that. And I remember somebody before said like, what if Marco doesn't have his devil fruit anymore or whatever like that? So what if Blackbeard like killed Marco, right? But because he has a phoenix fruit, you know, when a phoenix dies, they're born
Yeah, it
again
goes-
or whatever
goes
like
back-
that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what if he died, but he was able to come back, but without his fruit, and Blackbeard has his fruit now or whatever like that, and he's just depressed and he doesn't even have his fruit or whatever like that. But Nekomamushi knows that, you know, he's still strong without his fruit, just not like what he used to be.
We've discussed this. We've discussed this. Like, we've discussed this before
I don't-
because I specifically remember was like you said like Marco wouldn't be strong no more because you're like he's just Marco, not Marco the Phoenix. You remember that?
Yeah, if he lost his fruit. But this was the first time though that somebody said the whole like we were saying before that maybe Blackbeard took his fruit and he was able to stay alive somehow. I just thought about the like, you know, what if Blackbeard killed them, but he regenerated
That's the
with
same.
his devil fruit power.
That's the same thing.
I mean, not regenerated. I mean, like he was his name. He was born again, like how Phoenix
But
do,
that's the same
or whatever
thing.
like that.
Because if you take a devil fruit, you die. So it's like
Yeah, so I'm saying, so
when we
he-
discussed that, we
He
met-
died.
Yeah, and he was
But,
able to
you
stay
know,
alive because of his devil fruit powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that. They said Marco is overhyped. Is OD overhyped? I don't think so.
I stay saying that Marco.
What does
Marco, well, he,
OD?
I think Marco has
overhyped
been like people have thrown Marco to the side after the loss of Blackbeard.
Yeah, if you lose once, it's over for you.
Done for you, bro. Like
I don't feel like he's overhyped. Like I say, like he could beat Kizaru on that one-on-one because that's what it was looking like.
In
but
some people's
he's
case,
overhyped.
it's not even a loss. It's just like getting stuck by parasite threads and your story's done.
I mean, that's that's another thing, man. People are saying Jozu is fodder. Jozu isn't fodder.
Oh man.
Leave the
So then
poor man
Aokiji
alone, man. He
has to be
shines
fodder
like a
because he-
diamond.
Because he tackled,
They say Aokiji
he tackled
frees him,
Aokiji.
Aokiji
He tackled
frees him.
Aokiji and
Yo.
made blood come out of his mouth.
Yo, Aokiji's like a bad matchup for anyone. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Like,
matter what.
Jozu would be the best linebacker, man.
He would be awesome. Or running back. Nobody's stopping that dude. Put his shoulder down. What if Dragon's
That's the thing,
devil
like
fruit is the off-screen
a regular shoulder, a regular shoulder
off-screen,
tackle made
off-screen,
Aokiji
bro.
bleed from Jozu.
That's another thing that would be a nice movie. Blackbeard Pirates Invade Baltigo.
That wouldn't even be more. That's just like that's like epicness. So, like,
It depends on what happens.
It depends on what
Because,
happens.
like,
If they
If
engage,
that actually happened,
yeah, if they engage, then it's like, oh shit. Like we see Sabo going against like
Shiryu
Shiryu or
and
some people.
Dragon.
Or actually, maybe all the commanders were there. So we see actually the strong guys. So
it would be cool. Like you see how when Naruto ended, they had those other like stories that they introduced or whatever like that, like about like Mike Gaigen in the wheelchair still and stuff like that, and Kakashi and everything and all that stuff like that. So what if like instead of them branching out, we get all of the fights, all of the offspring fights or whatever like that. Instead, like that'll be cool.
People talk
Yeah.
about One Piece Go. What would that be? How would that work?
You just go up to random people on the
Using
street.
him as Pokemon Go.
You basically have to walk around and travel the Grand Line. That is your.
Oh, so
town.
you develop your own devil
You have to
fruit?
find poneglyphs and devil fruits, yeah.
No, what it is they're just random gyms around your like town, and like you just go there and like fight them in real life.
And then you tap the screen to like do the Gummo Gatling. And then,
Oh no, nah. I feel like it should have like a Xenoverse type game where you can create a pirate, and you have like different devil fruits to choose from, like maybe
Yeah.
non-canon devil fruits you can choose from or whatever. and then you can change the storyline based on who you choose. You can be a fishman, you can be a human, you can be whatever the fuck Kaido is. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
that'd be cool.
a game like that. But One Piece Go, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a big
Hey,
Pokemon Go guy.
if a fishman had seen your pinks through, could he swim underwater?
No.
I don't know. You probably like.
What? I don't know,
I
man.
can tell you right now, no.
Did I just break One Piece?
What the fuck?
Wait, how would that has that break one piece swim?
Because Jack is a fishman and he's got a fruit.
Yeah, he can
And
breathe.
he can breathe underwater. But what I'm saying is like if Senior Pink was a fishman, right? He could obviously breathe underwater, but his fruit is the swim fruit.
Yeah,
But
but
could he
like the thing
actually,
is like
Yeah, but the seawater would automatically negate the fruit.
yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Yeah.
But no, but seawater doesn't negate your fruit. It
Yeah,
just
it just makes you weaker. Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
no, because like Luffy, he
oh yeah,
can like
yeah.
use the gun and pistol in the water and stuff like that. Red Hawk and
So
all
you'd
that
be able to
nonsense.
swim, but not powerful.
No, you couldn't even swim because you can't move when you're in the water.
Yeah. Oh wait.
Period.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose.
It's a kid versus Kaido. Maybe.
What a useless fruit, man. Swim.
The swims, I don't know. It could be pretty sick, yo. Like if you have like that burning blood move that
I don't know about
Kaido
saying
has.
pretty sick, but
You can do. It's like if we can do things with a rubber fruit, if you can swim through anything, I mean, come on.
Awakening mode, you can swim through the air.
No, you can swim through the body.
strongest paramecia.
Like you see how Law takes your heart out, you can swim through his body, just grab
I mean,
his heart.
Let's be honest. The only reason Burgess was at Dressrosa in the first place was to get the swim fruit.
That's what he was going for. Luffy blocked him from getting the swim fruit.
Because he'd be able to do the ultimate suplex.
Imagine, dude, that would actually be so funny if Burgess had the swim fruit. Like, imagine a fight end of series, him just swimming around through all the time. Wee ha ha ha.
That's crazy. That's what Burgess
Doing the massive shoulder breaststroke.
Actually, the swim fruit is the One Piece. Someone said. There you go. But all right, I don't know. Should we? Someone said I said 1 hour for this stream.
Okay, so last one. In terms of the ranking, I know we're saving it for Sunday, but it's the only character. In terms of ranking, where are you thinking of putting Cracker now?
No, let's save that.
Let's save it.
Let's save it because it's gonna go on. Because I know Ty feels like Cracker is what A plus S.
You're leading into the conversation anyway, Brago. You might as well.
No, I didn't.
I know.
I didn't say Cracker is.
Here we go.
Where did we put Dofi at? We put Dofi at A minus.
That's not.
I don't know.
No, I thought we had Dofi at A minus.
He's an A minus. He's an A minus. Him and Bo are A minus.
Yeah, so I just felt like Cracker's.
Wasn't Jozu
Jozu as well.
I feel like Cracker's an A.
Jozu, yeah. Who else?
Yeah, I feel like Cracker's an A,
Jozu
like above Dofi.
Didn't we put
Yeah,
Dragon at
we
like a
put
B
Jack in
minus?
an A. Wait, what?
Didn't we put Dragon at a B minus?
Oh hell no.
Wait, Dragon?
No, because people
We get Dragon an S.
people were saying that in the stream that Dragon is overrated.
Nah,
He's
it's
not
fucking
overrated.
King of Lightning, bro. He's fooling
Like
the fan
people think
base.
that Luffy is great, Garp is great, but Dragon is trash. And if you already think Sabo is like an A, like you put Dragon at what? A?
Luffy's gonna be the future of Pirate King. Garp is the hero of the Marines, and Dragon's trash.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, all right, check this out. Dragon, he willingly sent Kuma to the government. So that means that like he's probably
good.
so strong that
I'm
doesn't
sure
even
he's
phase him.
good.
Like, yeah, like yo, I.
And me and Theory were talking about it, and it was like, if Dragon is the most wanted man in the world, he's the first in command, right? He's a commander. Shouldn't
Yep.
Sabo be second?
Yep.
Yeah, isn't Sabo second?
He's
So
the
he means like
commander.
second most wanted man in the world.
Second most wanted man.
Oh.
No, nah, not Sabo.
Why
Like,
not?
we didn't get to see Sabo bounty because I remember but it's different. You're just the second command or whatever.
But then,
Hey, Brago, I see what you're saying.
Dragon is the major.
but if
threat or
anything
whatever.
happens to Dragon, Sabo is in command. So shouldn't he be the second?
All right. So if that happens, yeah. But to now, Sabo didn't do nothing that reckless to.
But he's the second in command, though.
No, but Brago, you
But
gotta
put it like
realize.
this:
No,
if he destroyed, if he wrecked Fuji, maybe it'd be different. But like he's not as big of a threat as Dragon, and Dragon's the main threat or whatever like that. Sabo's just like, oh snap, you're second in command.
You also have to realize though that just because he's second in command doesn't mean he has to have the second highest bounty. Like, why would he have a higher bounty than Kaido or something like that?
That's what I'm saying. My point is that Dragon isn't trash based on how they rate Sabo. Sabo isn't that much of a problem, and he's a second in command. Dragon is in command, and it's like, okay, he's the most dangerous man in the world. It's not just because of his rank. That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just because of his rank.
That's what I'm saying. It's like Sabo is second in command, and Sabo
it isn't
the threat. Kaido, I'm sure, has a higher bounty than Sabo, right?
Hmm.
So it's like, but Dragon, oh my God, he's a commander. He's far and away the most dangerous man in the world. It goes more than just him being the commander of revolutionaries. That's
because it's like like
Well
I say that the gap between like the captain and the first person in command or whatever like that is big. So it's like, you know,
I don't
Dragon,
know.
yeah,
We
most
keep
wanted.
using that,
Sabo,
I think,
no.
but
Because it's like Zoro, even though Cracker got these swords, like I don't Zoro wouldn't be able to deal with Cracker.
But the thing, Ty,
Whether Luffy can or not.
you said that Rayleigh is stronger than Kizaru right now, right?
Yes.
So in his prime, he was what, Yonko level, or like what Yonko is right now. That was his prime, right?
All right. So I'll put it like this: since we have the whole like S thing or whatever and stuff like that. Like, remember, I kept saying many times that Marco's stronger than Kizaru. Kizaru needs to be like, Kizaru needs to be A, Marco needs to be A plus. So I feel like whatever, like, all right, like if he was let's say he was A plus, somewhere between A plus S back then or whatever like that.
Yeah.
So right now he's probably like if he's A plus now, he was S before. If he was A plus before, he's an A now. But I feel like he's above Kizaru right now, whatever like that. Like he was before. I feel like he's just a tier below now where he was. But either way, right now, even Rusty, he's still stronger than Kizaru because you see him get the better if I'm in a fight.
I don't know about that.
So I feel like he's A plus, and I feel like Marco's A plus, and Kizaru is A. But back then he was S.
Direct Hit made a great point that I was saying earlier that he'd be extremely surprised if Yonko have active bounties since they're part of the three powers that balance the world.
What is that supposed to mean?
It's like what bounty do you put on a Yonko?
Like a massive one or something.
But it's like
or
they're Yonko for a reason. Like who's gonna bring in a Yonko? Another Yonko?
Who's gonna bring in Dragon?
Yeah,
that's why I don't feel like he has I don't feel like he has a bounty. It's just like danger. Like,
no, but he's most wanted. I mean the highest number that we'll ever see when they show us.
I don't
show it.
Maybe it's not even a number. It's just
not
like
a number.
It's just like kill on sight or something like that.
Yeah, like I don't feel like.
You know what? Like I think the Yonkos have high bounties or whatever like that.
Why would you put a bounty on a Yonko? What would be the point of that?
Just because, put it like this, Whitebeard, right? People already say, oh, like he's the second strongest in the story or whatever like that, or maybe he was. But how beast would it be if, like, you know, when it's towards the end of the series, we see like this crazy like 10 billion bounty for Whitebeard or something like that, like an old wanted. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, like yo, that's crazy, whatever like that. So
10
like,
billion
I know
bounty.
that they have bounties.
It's like it just wouldn't make sense when you get to a certain point.
Or
It's
even,
just like,
even if it's like if it's like yo, like it's like 20 billion, whatever they give him, like we just like this retarded crazy number, like. Oh wow!
You have to remember that those pirates, they would have been rookies at one point, which means they would have had a bounty.
No, they said
saying that
bounty.
when you reach Yonko status, it just freezes.
It freezes.
I don't think so.
Because what bounty can you put on it to make them even more dangerous? They're already Yonko. Everyone is already out to get them.
They're probably like, all right, like let's say like whatever dragons is, theirs is probably like.
I don't.
Let's look at it like this.
Dragon.
Look at this. If someone managed to take down a Yonko, right, and drag their body to Marineford and was like, "Yo, pay me for this Yonko," they're gonna give you a big dash of money.
Or they're gonna kill you because you're dangerous.
But you know what? You know what I'm trying to say.
If you're wanted yourself, yeah, they're gonna be like. But actually, that's not true because Blackbeard. I'm pretty sure Blackbeard had a bounty.
What if it's a transaction?
Wait, hold on. Like, I'm like Blackbeard had a bounty, and he was able to turn Asen or whatever like that, and leave and actually become a feature Bakai and stuff like that.
Blackbeard's bounty was frozen at 0.
Yeah, Blackbeard doesn't have a bounty.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm like, well, you were saying theory that he was up there with Marco and Josu when they liberated Fishman Island. I'm pretty sure he had a bounty or whatever like that.
Yeah, but he was undercover.
So
like he was as in terms of power in that crew, he was up there with them. But he was
I'm
like
not saying he had a crazy bounty, but he had a bounty to where like the Marines was like, you know what, we'll just take we're gonna take Ace and you can go, or you could be a Shichibukai or whatever like that.
No,
like,
but
it's always
like,
that.
Well, he was saying,
like maybe
Direct was saying that because he's saying that the Yonkos are one of the powers that balance the world. Why would they have a bounty when the Shichibukai don't?
The Shichibukai do have a bounty. It's just frozen.
It's frozen, not an active bounty. Active.
The Shichibukai is actually on the government side. That the government can tell them to go do things.
But the
government, Yonko, they can't.
The Yonko balances it out.
Well, why would that stop you from having a bounty?
Because you're a Yonko.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Why does that stop
who
you from having a bounty?
Put it like this, Brago. Look, when who was it? When Zoro tried to cut Dofi, Fuji came and was like, "Bomb, like we work with the Shichibukai. Like what are you doing right now?" Now, if Zoro was to cut a Yonko and if Fuji was there, he just would have left it alone. So it's a difference between the Shichibukai and the admirals and the government because they all work together. The Yonkos is one of those powers that balance out the world, but at the same time, so is Dragon.
Who appoints
and the Revolutionary Army. Dragon is one of those powers as well. Because what Ivankov was saying was like, okay, like
the Dragon is
the
one
Marines
of those powers?
made their move.
No.
The Revolutionary and Dragon is one of those powers because what Ivankov was saying was like, yeah. Remember, they always show. Remember, even Dofi, they had Dragon, he had the other Yonko, he had the Supernovas, the Shichibukai, Dragon, and the Revolutionary.
No, Dragon, the Revolutionary are not a power.
No, look, they are because Ivankov said when the whole Whitebeard thing happened or whatever, and Ivankov was just in jail chilling or whatever like that. Ivankov was like, yeah, the government made their move, the Shichibukais made their move, Whitebeard made his move, but the man I serve, Dragon, he didn't make his move. When he does it, that's when I react. Like Dragon is another one of those powers. That's why Sabo was able to do what he did with Fuji and stuff like that.
Dragon is
he's one of them.
Movement, bro.
They always every time they bring up like who's gonna control the world, they always bring Dragon up there, or they always have Dragon like one of those top dudes.
You've got it twisted. What they're saying is that Dragon is a power in the world, but he's not a power that balances it. He's a power that's going to change the world.
I think he is though. Like we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but like if you see how Dofi fallen affected the world or whatever like that. If the most wanted man was to like go down in the revs, the world would be in chaos. So I'm pretty sure that would have a bad effect. That he's one of the powers that balances out the world.
He's trying to change it completely. If they take out the revolutionaries, it's like, all right, there's no one to oppose us anymore. It's status quo. Nothing much will change. It's just like
anyway, back to the Yonko bounty thing. I don't understand why you would get frozen. I understand what you're saying, as in like who's going to oppose them, and they do hold balance in the world. So why even put a bounty on them? But it doesn't mean that they don't have one.
I don't see the point.
Yeah, but they would have. They would have.
So okay, so how do you increase it? So when Shanks came to Marineford, oh shit, this nigga just got $1 billion.
I never said it was increased. Like, just because Doflamingo's bounty is frozen doesn't mean he doesn't have a bounty.
But it's not active though. This is not an active bounty. So it's like wherever, like once they've been recognized as a Yonko, it's like all right. At that point, you get a new poster.
But what would the fun of like when we're watching the show, right? And Luffy becomes Pirate King, he just doesn't have a bounty.
Yeah, because how hype was everyone when we saw Sanji's bounty said wanted alive?
Right.
But he still had a number on it.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna have a number, but it's gonna be different. It's frozen, but whatever it says on the bounty poster is
the thing with the Yonko was different. Every time a Chichibukai gets taken out, pretty much they have that meeting or whatever like that. The Gora says like, who's gonna be the next Chichibukai? The balance. But check this out. When Whitebeard died or whatever like that, somebody will just like Blackbeard took over it. Somebody will always take over. They don't have They don't have discussions like who's gonna be the next Yonko now. Whitebeard is gone or whatever like that. So I think it's a difference where Shichibukai they need 7 or they had a disadvantage. With the Yonko was like whatever. If one was to go down.
They need. But let's I gotta go now. But so let's talk about that tomorrow. Let's do that tomorrow. Try to stream early.
That whole the cruise going places solo, that was nonsense. I just gotta bring that up.
Okay. I respect your opinion.
All right.
Oh, okay. So if everybody's saying one last thing, I'm gonna say that I was very impressed with what Cracker did or whatever like that. I was impressed with or whatever that he was giving Luffy no room whatsoever. But what Judge did versus Sanji, that's why I'm like, yo, come on, son. Like he can't be as strong as they're saying because look how bad of a fight he did and look how good Cracker did. That's what top tier people do. Like I feel like what Cracker did. Even if he ends up losing, he still was like on Luffy, not giving Luffy no room or whatever like that. So that's why when I said I wasn't impressed by what Judge did, I just wasn't. But what Cracker did, I was impressed by.
Word. Ferro, any last words? Is Ferro still here?
People in the chat saying like about Big Mom having a wanted poster. She would originally have a wanted poster. But what Brago's saying is that it's frozen currently. It's inactive.
It's inactive. Her bounty, at least. Her poster is gonna say something different. Like it's gonna maybe, I don't know, something crazy to show that they're Yonko. It's gonna have to be different from just a regular pirate, I think. But anyway,
maybe like only dead or something.
Like so, yeah, something crazy where it's like okay, because I don't see the point. Like who's going around like raising these bounties? Like if it's still active, like I don't see the point of that. Like even if they're over 1 billion, they're already a Yonko. Everyone wants their head already. So I don't know.
But it doesn't mean that they aren't worth money.
That's the same thing. You're saying who would, right, Brago? You're saying who would turn these Yonkos in at the same time? Look how many supernovas tried to take out Big Mom alone. Look at Kid and them already trying to talk about let's take out Shanks. So I'm pretty sure that
can't turn a Yonko in.
Well, I'm saying they tried though. Not everybody who tries is gonna fail. You know what I mean? Some people are gonna be successful. How like Blackbeard was.
Let's look at last example. Like look at Blackbeard and how much of a scumbag he is, and how he would do anything to get the upper hand or for his big scheme. He did it for Ace. He was like, you know what? If Ace has got a pretty neat bounty, I'll hand him in. What if Blackbeard was having hard times, running low on money? He needs to go take out a Yonko, right?
Right.
You could just hand him in for money.
Wow. I don't know. A lot easier said than done. But
I know I'm just playing it down at quite a large scale. But like you do see what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
He did fearlessly go to where Dragon was though. So who knows if he would ever like be like, you know what? I'm going to Whole Cake Island right now.
I understand. So who got the payout for Whitebeard? Anyways,
the government. The government.
Nah, because I kind of killed it, right?
I kind of got it.
Yeah.
That's why kind is rocking them white suits.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Appreciate you guys coming through. You guys in tomorrow? Or we're just gonna wait till Sunday?
I mean, yeah.
All right. We'll talk about something tomorrow. But all right, people. The chat was lit tonight. Talked about a lot of random shit. We almost got stuck on the Admiral level shit again, but we got away from it. So yeah, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't. I think Sabo plans to join the Straw Hats. What? All right. I don't think that's happening. But yeah, like the stream, subscribe, and peace out, people.
Yo, peace.
Peace.
Peace out.